I've just kind of told her the Tuesdays is when I go over to Jay's house.
Okay.
And we info dump.
Oh, high plant. Yeah, dude, isn't that fucking list great?
I heard that. Yeah, that list is. I don't understand exactly what neurodivergent is. It's a word that I hear a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means means that you're not a normal brain, but then I don't like that phrase either.
I don't either, and that's why I'm very strategic about. I don't like
Yeah.
using the word weird, wrong, incorrect, normal.
Yeah, that means that there's a normal brain, and I don't know if that's a thing.
Correct.
Like you just have a brain that does this thing.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's version definition.
Are we recording?
I am.
Okay.
I figured if you said anything good. Neurodivergence refers to a group of conditions that affect how the brain processes information, learns, and interacts with the rest of the world. It describes individuals whose cognitive and neurological patterns differ from what is typically considered normal or neurotypical, which is, I learned from a book I read. I read a book. Neurotypical is a slanderous term made up by neurodivergent people, which I think is hilarious because it's very polite.
So who is neurotypical? Like, was that? 'Cause, I mean, there had to have been a baseline. What is that? Like a white 40-year-old male from
I'm a white
from England.
40-year-old male.
I know, but like what was the?
That's a great fucking question. Is like, where's the line drawn?
Yeah, like what do they base it off of? I think, what was it? It was who was the shrink that, essentially said that he wanted to have sex with his mom?
Freud.
Yeah, like when all the people that Freud was interviewing were all like Irish prostitutes, so he based everything off of Irish
didn't know
prostitutes and their, all the Johns. So, fucking that's a weird sample.
Yeah.
And and whatever the sample size was, but I mean, just a weird sample in general. And I read the women, when they talk about like how women can, whether they can have babies or not, was based off of 18th century prostitution place and where we get these numbers from. It's like totally different now. But the way you would with a lot of the stuff in medical science where we grabbed it from were like in these really heinous ways.
I was going to say Nazi Germany gave us a lot of scientific information.
They did. Yeah, shit. I know you don't like Behind the Bastards, but they did do an entire episode on Mengele.
I just don't like the guy. Their information is great.
The one they did on Dr. Mengele was horrifying. But he he just gathered a lot of stuff. A lot of the stuff that Dr. Mengele was doing and a lot of the things that they wanted to piggyback off of was American scientists. Like a lot of their basis for a lot of their things was our science that we used to essentially enslave black people. Like we were trying to medically convince ourselves that
we were superior. And,
yeah,
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you watching that movie Django Unchained. I know it's supposed to be, but just watching Leonardo DiCaprio talk about here are the parts of the Negro brain that make them dumber, and my fucking skin crawls knowing that people thought that, and that they still do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that they still do. Like I remember Jesse Owens wiped the floor with all the German track and field guys, and what was it? Adolf Hitler was convinced black people had an extra bone in their foot that allowed them to run more, run faster. Yeah. Sorry, dude. You don't run that fast.
So there's a couple things I'd like to talk about, but there's obvious things we should be talking about.
So many things to talk about. This is how when they talk about oh man, you must be happy that Trump got elected. You're gonna make all this money. They tell comedians.
Oh Jesus!
Or people who essentially make their money from having something to talk about. There's no shortage of ridiculous, crazy, ludicrous things to talk about.
I have not heard a single joke better than what is actually happening in the news. I have not heard a single comedian tell a better joke than what is just happening.
It's not a very funny joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they say? The good humor comes from pain and darkness.
Must be. Oh, so fucking hilarious then.
If we can survive this, Jesus Christ. It's
I mean, people have survived worse,
I
you know, but like the last time something like this happened was like 1930s.
1933.
1930s is when some shit like this went down and tens of millions of people died.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the thing that's like crazy is, you know, the only thing that stopped fascism was just violence. It was like matching violence with violence.
Yeah.
So, but you know, the U.S. was, you know, we talked about this on an earlier podcast. Like the U.S. was pushing towards fascism itself. You know, and it wasn't until like the center and the left have to get together,
right,
and go and fight. Like that's the only way, and we ended up overcoming it. Like all the right, I mean, they all disappeared. You know, their sons became presidents and ran massive corporations and everything, but they essentially crawled to the holes from which they belong. Man, I wish they would.
That's a good line.
I wish they would just crawl back. Make fascists scared again.
But why would they? Because they're making so much money and power right now. One of my friends was asking me, it's like, well, so let me backtrack a little bit. I found this awesome website, right? I want to show it to you really quick because I guarantee you've seen it, but I want to kind of use it as a visual representation.
I think that things are going to be different this time, and I
started writing everything you just said.
and I'm worried. I'm worried that people are seeing this for, you know, well, how did it happen in the 1930s, and how is fascism going to come about again? And what I'm thinking is, I think it's fascism because that's like a playbook that has worked in the past and it's being used again. But I think the end game is the oligarchy. Like whereas in the past it was it was for a political party that was teamed up with the mega rich. I think it's more like, instead of like all of the mega rich, now it's like just a handful of guys.
Yeah.
Like it's the tech guys, I think, want to just take over. They want to take over the whole world.
But they are the mega rich. Like it's one and the same.
Yeah, but it was like industry before.
But this is the new industry.
I know, but it was industry before. Now it's just people who are just so incredibly wealthy.
Right.
And they just want to be in charge because they think they're genetically superior.
Correct. So this website here, for those at home, it's, of course, I can't fucking see it. It is, Jesus Christ, Jeff Bezos billionaire website scrolling. Type that into Google. It's the first one that shows up. It's Matt Korostoff, wealth shown in scale. So if you scroll here,
I've seen this before.
It's $1,000. $68,000 is the average American household in income. There's $1 million. This is Jeff Bezos's money. I put this in front of my friend, and I said to keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. She got bored before she could get to the end. And she said, why would anyone want more money? And I said, at that point, money doesn't fucking matter anymore. It's power. And she goes, well, what can you do with power that you can't do with money? I'm like, that's the only reason you get money. That's the next level. That's the prestige class.
It is funny that, like, in America, like the American dream now is to become a billionaire. Like, so it only works, you know, there's a couple thousand people who have, quote unquote, won the American dream. Right. But the thing that they tell you, like, they've made so much money that all of their needs are met. Yet they're terrified to pay people enough money in America to have all their needs met, because they said you would just be lazy and you wouldn't do anything if all your needs are met. Yet we have billionaires whose needs were met billions of dollars ago.
Correct.
And they just kept going. They still kept doing things, even though their needs were met. Like, why is it that they can have their needs met and then they're still going on and being productive members of society? Like, why?
To a certain respect.
Why can't the rest of America
also do the same thing?
Yeah, why
work
can't
toward that?
Like this? I mean, to me, it would be a thing for universal basic income. UBI should definitely be a thing. mean, it works in some places. Some people, you know what? Some people are going to be a fucking leech on the system.
But that's going to be the case in everywhere.
And that's always going to happen.
I don't think it's going to be the majority. I don't think it's going to be even a concernable
minority. It'll be such a small amount, I think. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. It might be. I think in life, like I think if you look at just nature in general, the 80-20 split is like the universal split.
Yeah, that's true.
Somehow in nature, 80-20 seems to be the thing that could be anything. So maybe about 20% will just like, maybe not like, maybe they just like, they wouldn't live up to the potential that other people otherwise wouldn't have, but you still have 80% that are like really, really going at it, right? But what you're doing by having people's needs met, it's like, why are you complaining about somebody being lazy or something like that, or having money that you feel that they haven't worked for, when what you're really doing by paying money into that system is just making sure that like they have food and their kids are fed, and like you're paying for, it's insurance for a safer place to live.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why Naperville is as safe as that it is, because everybody has enough money and their needs are met.
Right.
Right. If you live in a place where your needs aren't met, like, dude, it'll get dangerous. You have to worry about your neighbors stealing from you. You got to worry about people who are willing to do crazy things for whatever.
Yeah.
And a thing, and I was talking to Heather about this, like, things are getting so destabilized right now. Like, dude, like some MAGA guy from some hick town out in central Illinois isn't going to come and break into my house. But some in my neighborhood who otherwise wouldn't have, and sees that I have a garden or sees that I have a decent house.
Who needs to feed his family.
Will be like, that guy has enough and I need something. That's what it is. Like we're raising the probability not to have it be like left versus MAGA. We're raising the probability of like super poor people like being at the business end of a gun.
It's not left versus right. It's up versus down.
100%.
I am 1,000% done with left versus right. The only thing that I still am holding on to, the left versus right thing, is the people who are blind fucking sheep, and I don't count them as right wing. There are right-wing people who are fucking conscious, who are understanding what's going on right now, and they're not liking it. They just wanted to protect their values, whatever their values were. They were blinded by whatever. So many people have come out and said, I made a giant fucking mistake. I was told this, and I didn't do enough research. Whatever. I don't give a shit. It's the people who are blind fucking following sheep.
The people who wear all the regalia.
Yes.
You know how you can tell who the real idiots are? The red hats.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's.
I don't think I've met some like real nut jobs. I've met some real nut jobs, right? Who don't wear the hat, who don't have the flag, who don't have like the flag on the truck.
Yeah.
They don't have things on their house. I don't know if I don't. It like the people who like really just wear all that shit. Like we're like somehow a billionaire from New York is their new identity. And worshiping a billionaire from New York is their identity. Especially, like, dude, if you're from the middle of nowhere.
Who would never give a shit about you.
That dude would not piss on your gums if your teeth were on fire.
Not if you paid him $100.
Well, I don't know. If he thought he could make $1 by pissing on your gums.
There was a Simpsons episode where all the rich guys, Burns and everyone else are in a car together with Homer, and they stop at a toll booth. And Homer's like, hey, does anyone have $1.50 or whatever it was? And they're like, what's that? Like they had no concept anything under $100 bill. And they're like, well, can you break 1,000? And it's like, I mean, it's funny, but it's like they don't understand. This is like Trump when he was saying how much is milk? $25? They're so out of touch. They're all out of touch with human life.
They're gallivanting in outer space. Like they don't have to worry about going to the grocery store.
So I'm going to say one fucking conspiracy theory that I do believe in. I believe they are trying to get to space
Because they know that we're
space travel.
fucked down here.
Because they know climate change is fucking real, and they know the planet is dying. And if you look at the trends of stocks over the last 20 years, cryogenics has gone through the fucking roof. Cryogenics is how you save a fucking human brain to be reawoken later on in a new body. So get off the fucking planet, send the brain to Mars, colonize Mars with just the people who are like you, which is a fucking terrible idea, because now you're wondering who has the biggest dick about these big dick owning having motherfuckers. It's just going to be inner war. They're not going to be like some utopia of blonde bitches just running around. That's not it. It's going to be guys who just want to piss on everything else. But anyway, that's where I think that's why I think they're doing that. That's why I think SpaceX is even giving a shit.
You know, for the past few years, my tinfoil hat thing was they were intentionally, Fox News was intentionally saying how awful it was in all of the areas around the Great Lakes to chase people out.
Right.
I always thought that for the longest time. And then they would say, and where are they sending them to? All the places where it's going to be uninhabitable. They want to send them to Florida. They want to send them to Texas. They want to send them to, all these places where it's going to be so warm you can't go. And then they're getting hit by hurricanes and they're going to lose their homes. They're sending them to all these places. And it's cheap as fuck there. Like, people move there because the taxes are so low.
Right.
Like, they're providing incentive to get people to move there.
Meanwhile, Illinois taxes keep going up.
Yeah. And who could afford it?
Who can afford it?
Who's going to buy up all the land? Like, dude, we're next to like the largest thing of fresh water in the world. And if water is going to become, like, if fresh water is going to become the new commodity, and the guy who predicted The Big Short, like, he says, like, water is going to be the next big thing. He said this, decades ago, and it's possible. But when Trump wanted to say, when he said that he wants to go after Canada and Greenland, and then I've heard people say the reason why Russia is pushing for all this shit to happen is because they know if the ice caps melt, they'll have open ports again. And now we want to have, Canada has the largest largest amount of shoreline of any other country in the world.
I did not think about that. I know Greenland has a military.
Keflavik.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's actually Iceland that has it.
Is it Iceland? Sorry.
Yeah, Greenland is the one that has ice, and
Yeah.
Iceland is the one that is all
But
green.
I thought that was why. I thought it was.
Oh, it's flipped. It's Iceland.
No. I know that shit.
Yeah.
No, Iceland is the nice place.
Yeah. Still fooling people 10,000 years later.
No, it's not what I meant. I just meant the military base.
Yeah.
There's Jesus Christ, dude. Like, it seems every day I wake up, it feels like I'm in a fucking movie. Like, it doesn't feel real. None of this feels real. I remember November 5th. I was just like, I made the joke, we're in the darkest timeline. And it's like,
But that's, yeah.
but it's fucking real.
The next day always gets worse somehow.
Yes.
Do you think Elon Musk stole the election?
Oh, 100%.
Do you?
Yes. Now, I also believe there was a fuck ton of people who didn't vote or voted stupidly.
I mean, if he stole the election and the left just essentially attacked each other.
That's all the left's been doing.
Yeah, they've been going after trans people. They've been going after Democratic Party. They've been going after all these, they've essentially been eating each other and pointing the finger.
Yes.
Which is exactly what somebody would want to happen if you didn't want them to look at you.
It's exactly what you want to
But
happen.
I also don't want to be
Discourse.
one of those knuckle dragging idiots that said
No.
they stole the election.
That's why I haven't said it. But
it wouldn't even matter
Dude.
at this point. Even if there was proof, it wouldn't even, it wouldn't go through anybody's heads.
well, no one would do anything about it. They'd be just like, okay,
You know what's frustrating? It's like people at work. There's people I work with, when they see something that's anti what they don't like, they immediately are like, well, that's CGI. That's not real. People, they do that. Their brain immediately goes to it's not real.
wow.
And the thing that's did we talk about this? With
You
the
and I
stuff with
did.
Uncanny Valley.
I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but we, just because a week goes by doesn't mean we record a podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the stuff with the Uncanny Valley, like you
Yeah,
look at it and like you can tell, like it is. I know you said that they're getting better and better,
Dude, it is.
Like you look at it and you can tell it's not real. Like it is so incredibly obvious that the stuff isn't real.
Well, let's see what I can fucking make.
No,
right
no,
now.
no. The stuff that they think, like, dude, if they have more than one finger,
I
it
know,
ain't
but,
fucking real, dude.
but that okay. Yes, I would say 4 or 5 months ago, it was pretty fucking obvious. The shit's growing in leaps and bounds. I honestly thought it would take a few more years to get to where we're at right now. And some of the most powerful shit on the planet is open source, meaning you can fucking download it and tweak it as you need. Download the code.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was a guy who was trying to figure out how to, quote unquote, poison the well when it came to AI, specifically when it came to AI being used to steal people's art. And how
It already has.
well and this guy, he's one of the professors, I want to say, like at the University of Chicago, and he works on ways on how to poison the well to make it not like because you have to program the AI to learn a certain way.
It's LLM. Yeah, everything is a learned language model.
Yeah, but if you can figure out ways on how to make sure that they're getting the wrong information, it it screws it up. But what he was saying was that we're going to hit a plateau with AI because it's taking in all human knowledge at such a rapid pace.
Right.
And the only way to actually like make it really to that next level is you would need like 2 times the amount of all known human history to be able to actually like jump up again. Like it's just we're not creating enough to make AI that smart.
So this is when AI takes after itself and it starts self-replicating, not in a scientific Terminator sort of way, but as in it's going to start doubling over itself over the same data. Like there are photographers who are seeing their watermarks in AI creations, like it looks like a person, but there's a watermark on the face of a photographer's business. So we already know that all these AI companies have stolen all their data. They have stolen all their language learning. They have stolen everything. And then, last week, DeepSeek made the fucking big announcement that it was open source, download it, whatever. And OpenAI, the guys who own ChatGPT, were like, well, you can't do that. You stole our information. Well, it's like, bitch, that's called file sharing. That's what we've been doing for fucking 30 years now. We file share a movie. We'll file share it to someone else. They can have it. You just basically stole someone else's work, and then you're pissed that someone used your 3 minutes of work and did it better than you, cheaper than you, and open source. Open source is going to be the way of the future. I wholeheartly believe in it.
I think that was part of like the original. You ever read like the original people who kind of started the internet and what they like the rules of what they wanted? Like open source was
briefly
supposed to be.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a communist mentality of like free fucking knowledge.
Yeah, the world's catalog was kind of like was the beginning of it. I bought like an actual hard copy.
Did you really?
Of the world's catalog. I read about it when I was doing research on my thesis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because world's catalog was essentially like where Amazon got its idea from, right?
Right.
To be able to buy everything. And that was one of the last world's catalogs. I'm like, babe, you see that thing? And I got it for like $20. I was like, this before the internet, this was it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should show it to you
I would
sometime.
fucking love that.
It's just a big ass catalog. It's not like super thick, but it's like just like the most randomest of shit to like for knowledge and like to buy stuff.
By the way, did you know mail-in orders were invented by neurodivergent people?
Sears and Roebuck?
No, like the actual, like the concept who actually started doing it, like in the back of comic books and shit like that, like early fucking stages.
You told me about this.
Because people didn't want to go talk to people in person. was like, I just want to send you money and you just get me the thing.
I want the X-ray goggles
Yeah,
that
that's
you would order. I want to be able to see through girls' clothes like it shows in the comic.
So there's something I've been like, I've been taking notes for the past couple of weeks because, you know, I've been at my mom's house, spending weeks there. And for those who don't know, my mom died this week. I'm not going to talk about it on the fucking show, but I think it's at least fucking deserved to say it out loud.
I mean, this is kind of like a journal of sorts.
Yeah,
like
right.
I don't know if you listen to these things, but if you do,
I have. It's a little weird.
yeah.
Like when I do my own podcast, like for work, I'll listen to it to be like, oh, I gotta make sure I talk a little better about that, like how I portray myself. But this is, I'm not trying to be someone else. This is like listening to old therapy sessions. It's fucking weird. But yeah, I mean, it is a journal. And I think that's powerful. Like oh my God, dude. I didn't realize this until I was at my mom's and like every day I was writing down what was happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how much I wrote, but I've been taking like daily journals for a long time, and I had no fucking idea I was doing this.
It's not a short list.
And there's the thing right there. So there's a lot. So like, fuck, I've been writing a lot. But one of the things I was thinking about while I was sitting at my mom's house at like 3 a.m., I was thinking like, do you remember when we went to go see the new version of True Grit? Like you and I didn't see it together, but we saw it separately, but we saw it like the same day or like the day after each other.
Yes.
And you and I started talking about it right the fuck away. And I said a line from the movie and you
Fill
said
your hands, you son of a bitch.
Fucking thank you for proving my goddamn theory. So that's the line you remember. I don't remember him saying that in the movie whatsoever. It was fucking insignificant to me.
It was very important in the original version, but they played it down
In the new one?
in the new one.
Okay. So the line I remember the most is he done killed him with a kin boat. That is the line from the movie I remember the most vivid. So it got me thinking along the lines of neurodivergency. I remember things about things that are vastly different than other people remember.
Oh, that's, yes, 100%. Your brain definitely is different like that. 100%.
So,
Especially when it comes to food.
oh yeah, no shit, right? Which by the way, my friend says I might have a hyper palate instead of a bad palate. Like I might taste things too much, which I had never heard of.
No.
No, they're wrong.
Heather has a hyper palate.
Does she?
Yeah, she could literally like, if the guy washing the grapes in another country
okay.
didn't do a good job, she could taste it.
Interesting.
You could like,
I can't.
you could eat
identify
baby
it.
shit out of a garbage can and not taste anything. It's just like but yours is more about texture.
That's true. Highly more about
Yours is more about texture and like not as much about taste, from what I've observed. You know, obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you like what you're tasting, but
yeah.
me observing what you said, like taste almost is just a whole nother thing you don't really care about.
Oh no, I very much do. I very much do. Like
No, because I've heard you like taste isn't that important. It's more about the experience and the texture. Because you've talked about things and you're like, well, I don't give a shit. But like this person was nice or it was affordable. You've had things you're like, this is good because I could get a lot of it.
So
And I've always thought that was weird, is like how things taste to you is completely it, like the data that you're bringing in from whether something is worth it or not, taste is not even in the top 5.
okay, I would disagree with that. However, I see your point about that. And yes, I think quantity over quality most of the time. I would rather be able to have 3 meals from one meal, like Chinese food, than one really fucking good plate of Chinese food. Like it doesn't equate in my brain to worth it, right? I think that's more of a value-based thing, like how I value something. I'm not talking about like money-wise, but I'm talking about like what do I value? I value the ability to not have to cook for myself. I value the ability that I don't have to spend more money, that I don't have to do extra work. Oh yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Pez said it once. He can hear the AC. Cool. However, I do really value taste. However, like the burger I had last night at Rosie O'Hare, the atmosphere was fucking great. The bartender was great. I got to hang out with the owners. It was such a nice experience. So if I'm going to tell you, did I like the place? Fuck yes, I'm going to say I like the place. Was the food good? Not a fucking chance. I will never get the burger again. It was bland as shit. It was just, there was nothing there. I will say, in the past week or two, my taste buds have really fucking taken a downturn because didn't realize emotional shit connects to your food palate. So nothing tastes good right now. So I might be off, but it was not very good. So I'm never going to get it again, but of course I'll fucking go back because the goods outweigh the negative, you know? And before you say it, yes, I believe bread plays a huge fucking part on any sandwich.
Is it bread or carbs?
Not carbs, because I've had keto bread where there's fucking no carbs. And if it's good bread, there's a difference between good bread and bad bread. And that is highly subjective.
Yeah,
highly.
But you could have something where a lot of people would be like, this is really good bread. There could be bakers that say, this is the greatest bread ever.
That's what I mean.
But if you're like, if I don't feel like I'm chewing on a shoe, it's not good bread.
Well, I like chewy bread. But
No. I think these are, I'm quoting you. You literally like, it doesn't matter. If it's not chewy, it's crap. It's texture.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I do believe in, and that's why I say it's perspective.
Is it the outside of the bread or the inside of the bread?
I like the inside chewy, the outside crispy. But then again, it depends on what kind of bread. Like a sandwich bread,
crispy on the
whole
outside?
thing has to be soft.
Whoa. Crispy bread?
Well, like an Italian loaf, or like a bread bowl.
Oh, like you're talking about like firm, not crispy.
No,
like,
crispy.
Crispy is like a burnt thing, right?
Oh no.
Or like
Crispy isn't like crunchy and
okay.
crackly.
All right. Yep. Okay.
But the inside still has to be soft. Like if the inside's dense too, it's like, no. But again, that's perspective. I totally understand that. I know good is not equal to quote unquote good. I can dissect what a good movie is, but I'm still going to call Suburban Sasquatch a great fucking movie.
This is
because it's
goes
the
along the
experience.
lines of you could eat food out of a dumpster.
Exactly.
I
can taste. I don't
like,
taste
this is the
baby
chewiest bread I've ever had. Jay, you're eating out of a dumpster, and it's great.
I will tell you.
There's only some ants on it.
So anyway, I want to get back to the whole like, not just me, but I think a lot of people see things differently or hear things differently, or they take away something. But I'm noticing a lot with me. Ever since I got the diagnosis, I started understanding like, okay, well, this is why I do this. This is why I do this. This is why I do this. So it started really pinpointing, and it all started with that fucking movie. Was like, why did John think about fill your hands, you son of a bitch? Like I had to go back and rewatch the movie to figure out that he did say it. Like I don't remember it.
Right at the end when he's riding down the hill.
Right. And it was like the big climactic battle, and I'm like, all right. It still doesn't sound very important to me.
John, when did you see the John Wayne version?
I tried to.
So then that's
John
why
Wayne's hard to fucking take. He's so shitty.
He is. A Quiet Man is I think the only
movie I can fucking stomach of his.
And really same here. He's essentially he plays the exact same character and everything except for that. I feel like that was the only time he actually acted a little bit. And the story was really good. The side characters were really great.
I liked it.
I love Quiet Man. But when he played Rooster Cogburn in the original one, that was just a real famous line.
Okay.
And
did you know that going into it?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was Tom Marion was the one who he's the one that really wanted to make sure that I watched it. And he's the one that went off about that line, and and his dad was the one that went off about that. And
I like the line. The line's actually, I love it.
It's a great, but it was super well. It was played down. It was played down on the newer version. And I remember you had edited something that had like,
I made the song.
Oh, you made the song, and it even rhymed with "Fill your hands, you son of a bitch." And I was like, God, why didn't you literally?
Didn't fucking register,
I mean,
man.
if you didn't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I used the line, he done killed him with a kin boat. Because to me, it was like, well, fuck, everyone's going to know what I'm
feel like there's some things like you have to like wade through it and watch it a bunch. And sometimes
yes.
Like and sometimes somebody will have a certain hold on. You'll watch something. Yeah. You'll watch a movie a shit ton of times. And you'll love the movie.
Yeah.
And for example, Silence of the Lambs. So many great lines in Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. I've seen it so many times. The first horror movie to ever be nominated and win an Academy Award. A horror movie so good, the Academy was forced to give it an award, despite it being a horror the horror genre. And I love that movie. And there was so many things you could talk about. Some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Not what I remember from the movie.
Yeah, but there's one line that somebody said, and now when I hear it, I fucking have to hear it. Oh, she a great big fat person.
Oh, dude.
And it's stuck in my head forever. Well, she a great big fat person. That was John that said that.
You said that. Okay, that makes sense.
We did a whole podcast.
I remember that.
We're a great big fat person.
So
I say that all the time now.
You said it for fucking years. Like you said it on the show constantly. You said it on a lot of shit. But like you used to say it all the fucking time.
Yeah, I'm quoting somebody else who's quoting somebody,
and that's it. So like I rewatched it maybe like 8-9 years ago, and there's Buffalo Bill hanging out by the door, trying to remember who she might be talking about, and he says the line, and I'm like, did I just hear that wrong? I had to rewind it. I'm like, well, where in the movie does he say she a great big fat person? Like he never fucking does, because it was your impersonation of someone else.
Yep.
And that's how I remember that fucking line. That's weird.
So he says it when he's being interviewed. Like, have you seen this girl? And he goes, no, I don't know if I remember. What? Wait a second.
Yeah.
She's a great big fat person.
But the way you used to say it was like wildly different.
That's because that's the way that John said it. And you just pick up the ball and you keep running with it because it's the funniest thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there's lines like that in movies, and we can go down that fucking path. I don't find that interesting.
There's so many movies that I saw, like the Zemeckis brothers, like Naked Gun, 33 1/3, Air.
Brothers.
Is that who is that?
That's shit.
It's another Z.
Pez, yell at us.
Yeah, Pez, please yell at us.
But I know who you're talking about. They did Naked Gun. They did Scary Movie, one of them. They did Airplane. They did Basketball.
No, I'm talking about
Zemeckis was talking Back to the Future.
Okay, then it's not Zemeckis, but the ones that I'm talking about didn't do any of those other ones. Like it was just Naked Gun, 33 1/3, Hot Shots Part 2.
That's them.
Because those other ones are like Farrelly Brothers, I thought. There's the Farrelly Brothers.
Well, I said one of the Scary Movies.
The first Scary Movie was amazing. The second Scary Movie was amazing.
I'm just going to look up Airplane because I know that he did Airplane.
Starts with a Z.
Zucker.
Yeah, his mom was in all those movies.
Zemeckis. Oh, that's so fucking close. Zucker. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I quote those movies all the time. Constantly quote them.
Oh my God.
I don't even know that I'm saying it.
Yeah.
And then I'll watch it. I've been watching a lot of that stuff with Heather. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been quoting this almost every day for 40 years. And I had no idea.
Excuse me, stewardess. I speak jive.
I speak jive. Yeah. It just, or you'll be quoting something and you just play it up all the time. Like you just make it extra cheesy and everything. And then Heather would watch it and be like, oh, this is where you got it from.
Andy does that all the fucking time.
Yeah. Sorry.
But that's another, a good example is like, we remember these things, but why do we latch on to different things? Like, I think, when
It's cultural sometimes.
Well,
sometimes it's
cultural.
family. Like I had a house full of brothers, and we all kind of
But you would always remember the exact same lines?
my brothers and I, because you would always repeat the same things.
That's different. I'm talking like the first time, because like a movie comes out, right? Like a big thing comes out.
That's hard. Like because when we were younger and you had VHS and then you ended up having DVD, like you'd watch things lots of times and you kind of chew on it a little bit. And you hear the way that other people experience it. Like to just watch something once.
Well,
it's almost rare.
Maybe not.
Now it's not rare anymore.
Oh, it's super not rare because the content availability.
Yeah, it's like I don't
absurd.
have. I recently watched the Brutalist. Like, dude, it's like 3.5 hours. I don't know when I'm
to see it.
I don't know when I'm ever gonna have enough time to watch something for 3.5 hours.
I've made it a fucking life mission. Every year, I sit down and I watch all 3 Lord of the Rings films. I haven't done
Every
it
year?
Every year. Typically, I always did it in March.
I did it like when I was in the military. I would do it like weekly.
Really?
All of them. I didn't have TV.
Oh.
For like 20 years, I didn't have TV. I just had the DVDs that I bought.
Yeah.
So, just like having movies on in the background.
Oh no, I meant sit down and actually watch it. Like no phones, nothing else. Watch it.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't.
So you're looking at like 4 hours per movie.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And it's a fucking lot. Like I can't do it anymore. Like, dude, having a movie on the background, I don't count that as watching it. It's like I listened to the movie. The movie was on while I was working.
I had Inception and some other like 3-hour-long movie on in the background at work.
Yeah,
you gotta have it.
Yeah, no, I have to have noise. Multiple reasons. One, my brain goes into fucking stress mode if I don't have constant noise. Like I get really fucking anxious.
I do too.
But then with my fucking deaf ear, which did we ever talk about that? Yay. So in July, I got a cold and it bruised a bone in my ear. And now I'm going deaf.
Like actually going deaf?
Yeah.
Like the doctor said you're going deaf?
Yeah. 2 different ENTs. I lost like 25% of my hearing in my left ear. And I kind of guffawed at this. I'm like, from a fucking cold? And he goes, yep. During COVID, we had people out the fucking door lined up with this exact same thing. I have never fucking heard of it. So now I got to start looking into hearing aids. Like there's cheaper ones. Like I'm not at the level where I need to invest in one, but they make like little $200 ones that are pretty fucking good. But like it's constant ringing all the time. If I don't have noise, I start to get sick. It's like a bell just constantly fucking ringing. Like even now I can hear it. And what's really weird is the right ear is compensating for it. So I'm feeling muted in both ears.
Is your equilibrium wonky?
For the first 2 months, I couldn't walk. Like everywhere I walked, I just kept tipping over. It was driving me fucking nuts. And of course, this is during the time when my mom got diagnosed, and it's like, everything's going on. I thought it was just stress, so I went in a little too late to see a doctor.
Is this something that it could have been prevented?
No. They said like it happened, and it was like just because you let it go didn't mean it got worse or anything. But like I would say for the first 2 months, everything sounded like I was underwater. And like when I talked, I would constantly ask Andy, like I would say at least for the first 2 months, I would say, am I speaking correctly? Like, do I sound okay? It sounds like I have mashed potatoes in my mouth as I'm talking.
So it would actually sound like this. Like this is what I heard in my head.
I couldn't fucking hear it like normal speech. And I did a podcast for work, and I just fucking fought through it. Like I couldn't fucking pay attention to what we were talking about. I just pushed all this shit onto Hilda. I'm like, ask all the questions. I can't focus right now. And she did great. And then I listened to the show, and it's like, oh, well, I actually sound fine. So, but yeah, I can. It still sounds like I have like a little bit of mashed potatoes.
I mean, at least it's delicious.
Yeah, but the texture's more important.
That would have been a good ending.
It needs some bread. Dude, have you ever had a mashed potato sandwich?
No.
Like toast, mashed potatoes that are a little bit lumpy?
Do you do gravy?
No, fuck no. God,
Is that a real thing?
I don't like wet food.
Is that a real thing?
Wet food? Yeah, it's fucking, everyone has wet
A
food.
mashed potato sandwich. Is that
I
a pork?
don't know. I just, mashed potatoes, like,
You know what tastes really good? And you might not like it. I could totally do.
chances are fucking high.
Yeah, I could totally do mashed potatoes and sauerkraut sandwich.
Dude, that sounds fucking great.
Do you like sauerkraut?
Oh my God.
I feel like
I
sauerkraut
will
is
eat it out of the can.
Okay, me too.
Not in a jar. Glass jar, throw that shit away. That tastes fucking nasty.
Depends, dude. All you got to do
Change
is
my mind.
get an onion soup packet and put it and just mix it in with the with your sauerkraut.
Okay. I could see that.
And then it'll taste amazing.
Yeah.
Because you'll get. I've also found that like some of those ones where you get it out of the glass, it'll just be like very bland. So it almost tastes like nothing.
To me, it doesn't taste right. It tastes like something's wrong with it. And we thought we had a bad jar. And Andy and I both thought so.
You know, it could be because like if you get light in anything, light will deteriorate things. Like that's how beer goes skunky is the light.
Makes
so
sense.
that could be it.
But the cans, fuck.
I
eat
think
that all day.
canned beer I think tastes better than glass bottle beer.
Canned pop. I will eat. I'll drink canned pop, but I hate bottle pop.
Yeah, so do I. I don't like it.
No, it just doesn't fucking taste right. And just for fun, shits and giggles, aluminum is infinitely recyclable. I think that's pretty cool. That's my chin wiggle of the week. Glass and aluminum. Paper eventually just turns to mush, and you can't do anything with it anymore. You can only recycle it a couple times.
Well, it's biodegradable. You could use it for whatever cellulose growing thing.
No. You can use it as like earth things.
Earth.
But like recycling something, if you're going to have an option between a can and paper, can be used more often.
Do you think the future is going to be really upset with us because we suck at recycling?
I don't think the future is going to think back at us as anything but animosity and just sheer stupidity.
I agree. I think we're gonna the way that we, look back 10,000 years is they're just a bunch of savages.
We will be cavemen.
Yeah, we will be
100%.
savages. Like they will not believe what we allowed to let
Right.
happen to us and what we allowed happen to the world.
Politically,
Essentially like pigs in our own shit.
Yes. We will be fucking scum. And just look at an 80s movie with any frat house. But I think politically, that shit's going to happen in like 15, 20 years. Like people are going to look back and go, how the fuck? Why wasn't everyone on universal health care? Why wasn't everyone just accepted as who they were? And the more I read, I read from different countries. Our far left, our American far left,
Are conservatives everywhere.
they're on the right side of the fucking spectrum in other countries.
There's some countries where Bernie Sanders is a conservative.
And Andy was telling me about this, so I started deep diving into it, and I was like, oh my God. Their left side was like, well, of course we have universal health care. Like, why would anyone fight for that?
We don't
just have it.
Yeah, we don't really have a political spectrum at all. Like everything we have is like mega conservative.
Yes.
Even our the people that they call communists are like, our Democratic Party they're neoliberals. They're all went away the dodo in the 80s and 90s. Neoliberalism really was like the last nail in the coffin for any sort of full spectrum of politics. Because you used to have like conservative liberals or conservative or
Spectrum.
Well, no, because you had Republicans and you had
yeah.
Democrats, but you could have a conservative Democrat and a liberal Democrat. You could have a conservative Republican and a liberal Republican. There was like multiple different, like the variety was so much more. Now it's
Dude, the two sides is
it's
the
been
dumbest fucking thing.
it's been distilled down to two things. If we could get ranked choice voting, that would be amazing. Like we would actually have like different parties.
Yeah.
The possibility of getting money out of politics could happen, but I don't know, man. What's going on right now? I think we'll be lucky if we get out with any bloodshed. You know what I mean?
I don't see it as a possibility.
Yeah, I do. I think there's going to be people. I think we're going to see riots and starving and if we get
do
like
too.
another sort of health scare.
Yeah, well, which is
And,
already fucking happening,
in
man.
RFK with the bird flu.
With
and
the
all
bird
that.
flu.
Yeah.
I like someone. I read someone's fucking comment on Reddit, and they're like, "The bird flu is all just a big lie. Show me the 10,000 bodies." It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Dude, I think it's just like people who they just want to be different. There was a documentary that they did about flat earthers.
Okay.
Have you ever seen this?
No,
It's like one of the best payoff endings ever.
okay, that's better.
But it is like, dude, it's like ICP, but with Earth being flat. ICP are like, dude, like even MAGA convinced me that MAGA isn't just boomer juggalos.
Yeah, no, I totally see it.
Like
Trust me,
how
I
they
see it.
wanna, how they just, there's a whole thing. It's just it's like the whole way that they make money, how they want to
Yes.
wear the gear,
Yes.
how some people like the way you tour around and like there's, famous MAGA juggalos and how like you get caught up in it and kind of like the, the people who have been dispatched and this is the only place where I'm accepted and I'm willing to do stupid things to say that I have friends. Like that's MAGA. That's juggalos.
I just fucking realized something. I'm not meaning to cut you off, but I just realized something. The reason I stopped liking ICP and stopped like following them as fervently as I was, is because something clicked one day and I just realized like they were only about merchandising. Like that's all that anyone ever gave a shit about. It was
Well,
just
look at
a
MAGA.
fucking booth, and just spend more money.
Like, can you really be MAGA if you don't have the hat and the flag? And
Well, that's it.
And the
Well, I mean, it's not just the emblem, the fucking swastika they're wearing on their head that says "Make America Great Again."
dude, like he just
Again,
like Trump just
4
had
fucking words.
Trump had a coin. Trump has the shoes.
The
Trump
Bible,
has the
everything.
Bible.
Yeah.
Like it's all about swag and selling
But
shit.
it's all about selling something, and right now, okay, he's selling the fucking country. He's selling the American people, allowing Elon into that fucking office with his 6 little sellout pieces of shit turds. You have sold out the American people. You have sold out any type of fucking security that the American person has for fucking money. That is so goddamn low.
Well, if he didn't have his Magalos, then he wouldn't be able to do it.
Magalos, that's good. I'm keeping the Goomba thing. I told it to you and Andy. I'm gonna say it here. So there's a lot of power with a name. Okay? This is why when you say a name, it recognizes a feeling in you. So when you market something, you never market the fucking product. No one gives a shit about your product or what you're selling. No one gives a shit about your service. They care about how it makes them feel. If I own a mop company and I say, this is the best fucking mop there is. It's got all this scientific shit in it. It cleans better than everyone else. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. There's like zero care. That's why. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. But if my mop company, if I have a woman talking, not about the science, not about how it works, not about anything like that, but the one woman says, you know what? My baby is in my kitchen right now eating Cheerios off the floor. And that's okay because I know that floor is clean because I know the mop I used is good enough for my baby's health. Someone watching that is going to go, holy fucking shit, I want that mop. That mop now becomes a name, okay? We'll call it fucking Mop X, okay? You go and buy Mop X. Mop X becomes a brand fucking name. That becomes power behind it. This is like Band-Aid. What do you put on a cut? You put a Band-Aid on a cut. This has become so synonymous in our fucking lexicon of the human mind of words that they had to rebrand themselves a few years ago saying, we are Band-Aid brand bandages. Xerox had to say, we are Xerox, the company that makes copies. All these fucking words that have become synonymous with the thing, Kleenex, things like this, right? It's fucking power. So how do you take away that fucking power? Just fucking stop using the goddamn words. Change the words around. Make it a little more goofy, but still something you understand. I'm not going to look down on Trump as being a fucking total incompetent because he's fucking things up so goddamn much that I'm scared. But I'm still going to call him Bowser. And I'm not going to call him King Koopa. I'm not going to call him any type of title. Fuck the title. Take away the power. He's Bowser.
Yeah, but I think
Maga is
yeah, but
Goombas.
you're taking one power away and giving him another one. You're giving him nostalgia.
You are using nostalgia as a calling signal, as a fucking flare in the dark that everyone can recognize.
Yeah, but in a way, like that one, there's still power in that.
Sure, but if you
People will be like, yeah, fuck yeah, Bowser's cool.
yeah, you can.
Yeah, but then you're in the exact same spot.
Again.
So
then
you almost
evolve.
need something that's you. Yeah, but why you're gonna take away Mario Brothers? Like I don't see that happening. Like I feel like calling them Magalos is better because Juggalos inherent. I'm sorry, there's people I know,
But that's your
but Juggalos,
identity of it.
but so many people see Juggalos as deplorable.
But I don't.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sorry to anybody whose feelings I'm gonna hurt saying this. Do you know how you stop MAGA? Jesus.
Kick his sister in
No,
the chin.
call them a bunch of faggots.
Oh, yeah. No, I get
Seriously.
it. I get it.
To take that word, because you know what? Other people are gay. Other people are gay, and I love them, and they're awesome.
Yes.
Take away fag and give it to them,
Well, like
and
South
that will
Park did.
and they will fucking lose their minds.
You've seen the
Be
South
like,
Park
stop
episode,
being
right?
a faggot.
Okay, so faggot is one of my favorite words, okay? Because it is just a derogatory term. It is just made to incite hate. Until the gay community said, okay, fine, fuck it. We're taking that word. And they adopted it. And I fucking love that.
I mean, too.
That is power.
Please, from the LGBTQ community, please let us have fag back and let us use it against MAGA.
Again, South Park. Have you seen the South Park episode?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ, John, that is fucking you are quoting the fucking show. They called these motorcyclists would come through town and be like really loud and piss everyone off, right? And they would call them fags. And all the adults in town was like, well, you can't call them that. That's wrong. It's like, why? They're being fags. And it's like, well, what does that word mean? It's like, well, you ride a motorcycle around and you're really loud and annoying everybody else. You're being a fag. It's like, well, don't you mean gay? He's like, no, he's a gay person. What does that have to do with anything that I'm saying? So like the whole episode is just like this beautiful adopted culture of our youth, not knowing that word was a inflammatory word when we were children. You know, that means people are fucking evolving past it. And I fucking love that because yes, that's how you incite it. You throw a word that they think has power toward another culture, another community. And that community is like, we don't fucking care. You're faggots. And fuck them. I'm sorry. Fuck the MAGA people. Fuck them into the ground, dude.
Dude, if you call somebody who's MAGA Bowser or a Goomba or a Troopa, they're not going to care. They'll think it's cool.
Now,
if I call a dude a fag to his face, he will lose his goddamn mind.
Also, please understand how hard it is for me to say this word because I am so fucking pro LGBTQI+. I fucking love the culture. I am so behind it.
They make the world a better place.
I am behind
Please, let us have that word back.
Yeah.
For the good of humanity.
Oh my God.
I want to call these people a bunch of fags. I'm sorry. You've done such a great job at like turning that word into a positive thing.
Goddamn right.
But we need that word back because they think it's deplorable.
Correct.
Because they're deplorable.
Yes.
Because they're deplorable, they think that's deplorable.
God, that's a great. Would you also use the word retarded because that's become
big
such
time.
like a fucking
Big time. I take all those words back. Would I be drop the N-bomb? Nope. I wouldn't do that.
See, that's such a weird.
I wouldn't use that one. But there's different connotations to that. Like that is
I've always been a big believer that if you
I wouldn't do it.
censor words censor you. Okay? But I also really fucking take to heart that there are words that hurt people unneededly.
Well, it's because like you could get your teeth knocked out for dropping the N-bomb. But like gay people,
Rightfully fucking so.
rightfully so, because like it was a word that was used to enslave people.
Yes.
With gay folks, it's like
The F word's
they
the same
they
thing,
literally
though.
like they are so fabulous that they were able to turn that word into something positive.
But the black community did the same thing.
Yeah,
they
but then
empowered it,
Yeah, but then they took the word for themselves.
which is great.
I'm not taking that word.
No, I that's why it's so hard for me to use the F word, because like I've respected the fucking culture for so goddamn long. It's hard for me to like bash something that I know
Well, that's why I
would hurt
that's
someone.
why I'm asking. I'm asking the gay community.
Perfect.
Please.
Perfect.
Please let us call MAGA faggots.
And neurodivergent culture. Please.
Neurodivergent cultures. I want to call MAGA retards.
Oh my God, the title of this episode just wrote it
Make-
for itself.
Make MAGA retarded again. Like if we would have just not taken that word away, we could have undone all this.
No,
Like, dude, why are you guys being a bunch of retarded faggots over there?
You should take it away though for what it was in
I
context
know,
for.
I know.
But
But-
your point stands firm. And I wholeheartedly behind it, because it is used as a weapon for people who are derogatory in their own right, and their only fucking stance is hate.
Yeah. I think we're going to go back.
I have no respect.
We got to go back to the when we were talking about 1930s, how America got out of fascism was the center and the left came together. And to make that happen, we have to call MAGA retarded faggots. We have to. We have to do it.
Okay, I guess we'll make
Let us do this. Let us do this.
I want to make flags now, man.
Unleash faggots on my command.
Okay.
I'm trying
a
to
little fucking.
No, I was just trying to bring a little Gladiator into this. Why do they have Gladiator 2? Why did that happen?
Why is Gladiator 2 a thing?
I don't know. I refuse to watch it.
I did too. Like I got it, and I'm like, nah, bro. I just deleted it. I'm like, why?
the guy
why
died.
bother?
the guy died.
Who?
You know what I mean? Like
Who?
Maximus.
Oh yeah,
Maximus
yeah,
died.
yeah.
Like
I thought
that
you
was
meant like Russell Crowe or like
what?
Tony Scott.
You know what I mean?
Ridley Scott.
Like, are you
Tony?
gonna?
It's Ridley.
Are you gonna have? Shit. What was
Look at the Alien story. None of them fucking connect. besides
Ridley
the
Scott
first two.
really needs to pay rent, dude.
Oh, that's Ridley Scott too. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's
Ugh. Dude,
yeah.
the last two
Gladiator
Alien
2.
movies-
Ridley Scott needs to pay rent. At least with the aliens.
Go
Like
ahead, argue this.
He's trying to build like the world with it.
I watched
It
the
is.
last one. There's no fucking world building.
So the thing that's frustrating with him is he's trying to act like he's not trying to build a world. He's like, but dude, you're trying to build a world. Like, stop. You want Star Wars. We understand.
But no, it doesn't. It feels
There's nothing
more
wrong
like-
with world building.
It feels more. No, there's not. If it's done well.
Prometheus was god awful.
I liked what they tried to do. They actually tried to.
They're
think
like,
things out.
let's take this great idea and make them all stupid.
Yeah, no,
It was
that's-
so
that's
frustrating.
super. It.
It was very frustrating to watch.
I really want to watch David Fincher's edit, because apparently it's like an extra hour longer.
David Fincher did Aliens
3.
3. Okay. All right.
Wait.
I'm gonna throw down the gauntlet. Aliens 3. They gave him Aliens 3 after he had done, because David Fincher was famous for doing music videos and commercials. And then
I didn't know that.
And then they're like, shit, this guy would be really good at doing movies. So they gave him Aliens 3. They cut his budget and they made him do this movie with nothing.
Yeah.
And dude, and come at me. I will kick your fucking teeth in. Aliens 3 is easily, it's not even close. It's the best Aliens.
I misspoke. 4.
Well, 4 is awful.
4 was, as soon as I said David Fincher, I'm like, that's not right. 4 is done by Jean-Luc Godard.
Yes. And that is so.
Jean-Luc something. The guy who did Amelie.
Yeah, the guy who did Amelie.
What the fuck?
That one is really bad.
There's supposed to be a much
it's supposed to be
longer
Micmacs
version.
in outer space.
But there's supposed to be like an additional hour version of cut footage of all plot, no action, all plot.
The thing with that is like it's definitely one of his movies. Like all of the side characters are amazing.
Yes,
They just couldn't make a movie out of it. Like he wasn't able to string everything together to make it work.
Well, that's because you have.
I don't know
fucking,
what happened.
Well, that's too many dicks in the fucking kitchen. It's too many cooks. That's
He grabbed all of his same characters. Even like Ron Perlman was in there. Like everybody from
I don't mean actors.
like City of Lost Children.
Yeah.
He essentially took the cast of City of Lost
Yeah.
Children and made.
But that doesn't matter. It's the producers that have the say in those movies. As soon as you go to Hollywood,
That's what Ridley Scott
you don't
ruined.
get to make your movie anymore.
Yeah.
You get to if it's through WB, if it's through any of the fucking big companies. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you.
This is something we couldn't experience
But
when we were
I know.
podcasting in other parts
Separately?
Of the world.
because you would just announce when you farted, and I'd be like, "Cool, let's continue talking."
Yeah.
I don't have to gag on it
I was
while I'm
just
trying to
kinda-
fucking talk.
I was just kind of sitting in my own brand over here. I'm like, man, I really hope Jay pukes. I hope this fixes hearing.
Did you watch? Did you watch the fucking movie Detective Lieutenant Jangles?
No, but I wanted to. I know you've been telling me. I got to do this.
It's the best fucking fart joke ever.
Yeah.
And that's like a tall fucking bar,
Were
man.
I was supposed to come over here and watch that with you.
Yeah.
I don't know when that's going to happen.
You let me know when. I will watch that movie's funny as shit.
I think Heather's going to work on Sunday.
Okay.
Maybe well, I got to see.
If it's Sunday night, I can do it. I'm at my mom's house all day Sunday.
Okay.
Because that's the only day I can have Andy to help me.
Let's see. Well, I'll have to call you and ask.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so fucking
Because I
good.
never get to see Heather. I never get to see her anymore.
Who?
My wife.
Oh.
I never get to see her anymore.
How is she working a lot?
Yeah, dude. It's like accountants from like January 1st all the way to April 15th.
duh, yeah.
Like she is just getting murdered.
This
This is why they get paid the big bucks.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Is there like a professional is there like a professional rule that like on April 16th
Oh,
you're
there's
just like
parties.
I'm fucking not talking to anybody.
The weekend after April 15th is like the biggest accountant party weekend.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, there's like office parties all over
Oh,
the place.
like physical parties.
yeah, like they actually blow off a lot of steam.
That's so funny because like when I think of like I've had those stretches for like 3 or 4 months of like one job, and it's so mind numbing. You're doing it like 15, 16 hours a fucking day, and then you sleep and you just wake up and do it and you just keep doing it. At the end of it, I turn off my fucking computer and I go to bed for like a couple days. I don't want to do anything. A party sounds like a fucking obligation at that point.
I mean, but you don't drink though.
No,
like
but,
there's
I don't think it has nothing to do with drinking. I think it has to do with extroversion or introversion.
it's I don't know. It's a stress reliever. Drinking is definitely a stress reliever.
Is it?
If
It makes me
you-
more stressed.
You're not drinking enough then.
Oh, that's the problem. The more I drink, the more I stress.
Do you get worried about how you feel when you drink? I mean, I'm FYI, I'm done trying to convince you to drink. I mean, what you want to do it.
I
you can.
highly appreciate that. Thank
But
you.
I don't know. You'll drink and then you'll hit a point where you just kind of
Don't care anymore.
maybe you don't really care anymore.
That's true.
But like, you don't want to be like drinking a shit ton though to do that.
No, I don't like getting sick.
I feel like that's like with marijuana with me. Like I can't. Like it makes me
angry and real fucking mean.
It makes me incredibly anxious because I know it's
Really?
going to turn into an ordeal, and it's just not.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
I'm not going to enjoy it.
Dude, like I
So
don't
that's
like loss of control in anything.
Yeah,
It
yep.
It freaks
get
me
that.
the fuck out.
And if that's how you feel with drinking, then
Yes,
yeah. I mean, a big thing is like being around people who you're comfortable with.
I get that. But that's the only way I'll drink.
With people you're comfortable
Like
with.
really comfortable. Like I know I'm not going to get in an argument. I know I'm not going to get like mean and angry. And if I do get mean and angry, they're not going to hold it against me.
I mean, like if you're in your 40s and you're drinking, and you haven't drank, just don't.
I agree, dude. I
Dude,
don't
don't
want
do it.
to.
Because yeah, man. Because your brain is like,
I'd rather have
it'd
a
be like
conversation.
it'd be like babysitting a 20-year-old drinking.
Yes, and I don't want that. And that's another thing is like I always feel like I'm a burden. If I'm drunk, oh my God, I don't want to be fucking burdened to somebody. That's stupid.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the. If you're used to doing it and you can pace yourself and.
But drinking itself, the actual thing of drinking, the taste, it's horrendous. And I know, find a drink you like. Yeah, Amaretto Stone Sour is a drink I can tolerate. I don't enjoy fucking drinking it. It's just one that doesn't taste like lighter fluid.
I don't know.
And
That's why I
I'm
like
not
beer.
knocking drinking.
That's why I like beer. I'm done drinking like booze. I can't even do it anymore. I don't feel like I'm missing out with the booze. But beer, there's so many different types of beer.
And I am, dude, like you live in an age right now. I mean, we all live in an age, but we live in the age of like fucking selection and
Dude, it's awesome.
choice.
Yeah, actually, this last year was the first year in decades where the beer industry tanked. And I don't want to say tanked, but like it went down.
Did it keg?
Yeah, it kegged, and then it was the that flavored the alcohol water. Like that's
Water? What's that? Oh, like
not-
alcoholic water?
yeah.
That's a thing?
Yeah, it's just like a flavored. It tastes like nothing. It's like flavored water, like you remember like Canadian Mist or something like that.
I know what flavored water
Remember
is.
that?
That's a fucking drink it all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It's like Canadian water, but
If
it's
you
got
would like one, please help yourself.
but it's got the stuff that you had was super good when it came here last.
Topo Chico.
Yeah, the Topo Chico is wunderbar.
I'm really glad you like
I
it.
would totally. I was not expecting to like that as much as I did.
Yeah. My the guy I work with, Nick, like that's really all he drinks, like that and just straight up water or black coffee. He's a health nut.
I mean, I think some coffees are really, really good.
God damn it, like that's another thing. Like I went on the beer thing, I went on the coffee thing, like journeys, right? I went on sojourns. I wanted
What is that?
like a soul journey.
A sojourn?
Like that's not what it means, but that's how I've always correlated it.
That's a shame. That sounded like a good word.
Right? Oh no. Sojourn's a real word.
Yeah, oh, okay.
It's like a journey, kind of
Okay.
like a mission. But I've gone down the rabbit hole of beer. I've gone down the rabbit hole of coffee. You have seen my coffee collection upstairs. For some reason, I keep fucking buying it sometimes. Andy made a rule about it this year. I'm not allowed to buy anymore. So people keep buying it for me because they think I love it. But like, I haven't found one I like yet. And like
Not at
beer,
all?
I haven't found one I like yet. But dude, every time we gotta go to fucking Benny's, I'm like, well, I'm
So-
gonna try these 6.
Okay. So like when it comes to beer, like it's not like there's not like one beer where I'm like, well, I found the one that I have and I'm gonna just drink this forever. No way, dude. Like
I haven't found any.
well, it's the act of like going around and trying out different things.
Oh, no,
like some things are good, some things are bad, some things are like amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I'll never have to drink that ever again. That's really the way that I am.
Okay,
Like,
so
I don't.
I get your
I very
mentality.
rarely am gonna drink that same thing. I will maybe a couple times, but I'll rarely drink the same. Like I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll get a 6-pack, maybe.
Yeah, I get that. Dude,
But it's trying different stuff.
do you remember when I was on my sojourn of root beer?
Yeah.
Like I went to fucking different states to find shit because you can't, get variety anywhere. That's the way that's 100% what my opinion was. If I never drink this again, cool. I got to. If it tastes like shit, cool. I got to try it.
It was the journey.
It's the journey. I'm not looking for the destination. I'm not looking for the one that's going to complete me. It's cool to try them all because I really enjoyed them, even if they tasted like butthole. Coffee, I've never had one that I like.
You add anything to your coffee?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. I've seen you do that.
I'm suburban white girl when it comes to coffee. I actually like. I am white mocha fucking Starbucks for what I like.
Now, I know some people like coffee is like the act of brewing is actually what it is. It's not so much.
I do that with my matcha. It's the ritual.
Yeah, that's the ritual of it and the way that you do it.
Yeah.
Like I got one of my friends and I work with them. Like he is very much about like
Like
how to brew
drip
it,
and shit,
and drip and like pouring it
it's
over,
cool,
and doing
man.
all that.
Oh, the pour over.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And like hearing him talk about it, like he like looks into like making sure that it's the proper temperature and all these things.
Yeah.
Like I think that's cool.
It's wildly cool.
And like yeah, and then some people like when they make their coffee, like it like you can tell like the way that I'll make it versus the way that they make it, and how much incredibly different it is. How like the craft
Yes.
is really all about.
Yes.
It's very Japanese
Yeah,
thing to it.
100%. It's about taking the time, honoring the ritual of doing it, because it's not just about the consumption.
But they have that for everything. I mean, you'll get
course
that.
they
Out, you'll
do.
get that with Scotch. Like Scotch would be a really big one. Like there's,
Yeah.
I could totally see you liking Lafroig.
What's Lafroig?
It tastes.
It's French
like,
frog.
It's like, it's like.
I'm living in the wrong world, man.
Yeah,
My humor is too fucking good.
It's the frog. It's like it's a whiskey that tastes like dirt, and I don't know. It's
I mean, chances are, yes, I would probably fucking like it.
you know who I know absolutely would love it would be Bob. Bob would love it.
Get the fuck out.
Nick probably would like it
Okay.
too.
Okay.
But I've heard people like try and like compare it to, it's like the Scottish version of shit. What's the Chicago crap that everybody hates?
Malort?
Yeah, it's like
Earwax and gasoline?
dude. It's like a real acquired taste. But when Kenny told me, like this is how he got me to drink it. I hate Scotch, dude. I think Scotch is so gross.
It's so bad.
Scotch is so fucking gross.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to drinking it for my mom's memorial.
So okay, but you got to do this. Once Kenny showed me this, it really changed the game of Scotch with me. Like Scotch is all, it's got to be like warmed up a little bit sometimes to like actually get the flavors to it, and it's the ritual
like
to like,
stout.
it's the ritual to like get the smells right. So you're like what you're smelling
okay.
and what you're tasting all kind of work together.
Yeah, right.
He's like, he literally takes his hand, you take the bottle, put the bottle right on your hand, and you just turn the bottle over real quick, just so you have a little bit on your hand.
Yeah.
Like you're going to turn it upside down.
Yeah.
So the water goes completely over your hand, go all the way back, and then what you're going to do is you're going to rub your hands together, and then just smell your hands after your hands had rubbed it together. It's been
The
vaporized.
friction, heat.
And the heat of your hands
Okay.
warmed it up. When I drank Lafroig without that, it was like gasoline and baby shit.
Yeah,
And I'm like, this is so
Malort.
fucking gross. I can't drink this. And then Kenny showed me that, and I drank it, and then I smelled it, and like I could like smell the dirt and the moss, and like there was particular ways on how the rocks in Canada smelled when I'd be there in May, and I could smell all of it, and I was just like, holy shit. Like it blew my mind. And then you drink it, and it blew my mind how like I all of a sudden, it's like when I did shrooms. So it's like all of a sudden it's like, holy fuck, I get this now.
I've had that experience with other things where like your mind is literally just shattered open.
Yeah.
And it takes you back to a certain point in time, but like transfixes you to something that's never existed, and like just opens up fucking passages that weren't there. I get that. But having baby shit be a part of the definition.
It changed everything. It made it taste and like all the senses were like all firing.
So would you suggest this like just with these shit scotches, or just any fucking whiskey?
well, I don't really drink booze anymore. And like even when I was over there with Kenny, I essentially told him I don't really drink booze anymore, and he just said, "Well, let's just do this one thing." Like that was probably like one of the last times ever.
Okay.
I just don't drink booze. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
a bottle of booze in my house. I'm probably gonna give it to somebody as a gift. I don't drink booze. But when he did that, like how complex it got, like Scotch just made sense to me.
Okay. Fuck, that's cool, man.
I think it was really neat. So when you have the drink for your ma,
yeah.
get something really expensive,
Well, I already have it. I bought her a Christmas present that she literally never opened.
then drink it that way. Like really experience it.
That's Glenlivet 18 or something like that.
Yeah, drink it without it, and then drink it with it, just so you can compare the
Yeah,
two.
I would absolutely love that.
It made it really neat. Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to booze, man, like I I finally just like admitted to myself, like I prefer quantity over quality when it comes to alcohol. Like I want to try 12 different. I'll drink 12 beers, but I want 12 different beers.
Yeah. I totally get that.
And I can't have like 12 different things of booze.
Not in one fucking sitting.
No, I'll get loaded.
Yeah.
And I would rather.
Can you do 12 beers though?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude, that's a lot.
I'll be pretty drinky at 12.
Okay.
I'll be very drinky at 12. I think the like, especially when it comes like to the diet and not drinking as often.
Say, yeah.
Like 12 will fucking that'll.
By the way, I want you to, if you want to, my mom's memorial, we will have food and liquor.
Yeah, I'll do all that. I didn't drink for my own father's thing. I might as well drink for your mom's.
Drink for mine too, like my share.
Well, you're not going to drink at all.
I'll have a drink for her.
We'll rub our hands together.
I would love to
and
try
then do
that. I would love to do it for her, but like I'm not. This is not a slight against you, but for my wedding reception, the one I had in the backyard,
I wasn't there.
no, you said you couldn't come. I think you were.
It's probably lack of money.
It was fucking.
I missed a lot of things because of lack of money. I missed your graduation. I missed all of your graduations. Your college, your high school.
My high school.
I wasn't there. I wasn't able to make it.
This got introspective really quick. I don't remember. Dude, I'm sorry about my memory.
That's fine.
I'm trying to work on it. There's like self-help cues that are helping me, but anyway, you asked me why I wasn't going to drink at my own wedding, and you said you absolutely have to drink at your own wedding. And I was like, I don't really want to.
You could have. I mean, I would have to say you would have, if everybody else is drinking, to have a drink at your own wedding. I
No
think
one
is
else
important.
drank at my fucking reception.
No, then don't fucking drink.
So I drank a lot.
Wait, what?
I drank a lot. I went inside.
How did I not hear this before? I think it's hilarious.
I got a pitcher. I filled it with an entire bottle of amaretto.
Ugh, that sounds awful.
Again, the only liquor I'm okay drinking. Poured in my sweet and sour, poured in my orange juice, and I drank the entire fucking thing.
A handle?
Whatever the fuck it is. I drank an
Was
entire bottle.
Did it have a handle?
No, it was the round bottle of amaretto.
750. Okay.
Yeah, 750. Thank you.
Okay.
I drank that whole thing in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. That sounds awful.
It was
Gross.
fucking terrible, man.
Yeah.
I hate.
Why did you do that?
Something got in my head that I have to do this. I think that was the last time. No, that's not. That's fucking stupid. That was not the last time I got obliterated. I got fucking drunk one year up at the cabin, at Eric's cabin. And I think that was the last time I was like, I'm fucking done.
When you came down to visit me in Carbondale, you got drinky. That was really fun.
Drinky. I remember
Yeah,
that.
you got drinky then. And I think it's funny because I wasn't drinking and you were drinking.
Yeah, that was weird.
I think I was driving.
The drunkest I've ever been was in Scotland. It's kind of funny.
When you scoofed it.
Yeah. We're going back there because that's where my mom's wants her ashes.
Who's we?
Me and Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said that was her favorite place on the fucking planet.
Where was it?
Just north of Glasgow.
Yeah.
So it's starting to get into hilly areas. It's real fucking pretty. The cool thing about Scotland is like being there, I wanted to move there. I wanted to move there so bad. And I easily would have if it wasn't for the fucking food.
Is it that bad there?
It is terrible. Not one thing in a week and a half was edible.
My out of all the types of craftsman style architecture, the Glasgow School is my favorite.
Okay.
And if you're going to be in Glasgow,
Yeah.
I highly recommend you check out the Glasgow School of Architecture.
The thing I regretted the most about going there the first time is we went on like a tour trip. So we only saw what they told us to see. My favorite thing when I go to a new country or a new city is to get lost and just fucking see how people live. That's more interesting to me than anything.
It's called a
else.
derive.
Derive.
Yeah.
You told me about this before. I remember that now. But yeah, that's like my fucking favorite thing is just I want to see the shit that is not the tourist stuff. You know, I want like when I go to Japan, I want to sit down with a local and just fucking drink with them, just fucking eat with them.
You know, it's a shame that it's been ruined, but there is something called geocaching.
Oh my God, I loved geocaching.
Geocache, essentially the website and the greed with the website ruined it.
Yep.
But the best way to see an area is through its caches because it's the locals that are the ones that are putting them in these places.
I thought the exact same thing. I actually came up with like a whole podcast idea for it.
And I think like geocaching, I love geocaching.
It was so much fun.
I like the website's unusable now, and you got to pay like it's so expensive.
Oh, you have
It's
to pay?
Yeah,
I know there was a pay option the last time I looked, but
it's if you're not paying, it's unusable.
oh, not interested at all. That's a fucking shame.
It really is a shame.
That was so much fun. I remember finding a Ninja Turtle in a sewer. I thought that was really fucking funny.
You told me that, and because of that, I created the alligators of West Chicago, and I hid an alligator in West Chicago that was hung from a chain in a sewer.
Get the fuck out!
Yeah, it was in the alley behind Main Street in West Chicago.
Get the fuck out!
Yeah, that was a neat one.
Holy shit, that's awesome!
Yeah,
The alligators of West Chicago.
or I was the elusive alligators of West Chicago or something like that. It ended up getting lost.
I was gonna say
the chain. Somebody removing it ended up dropping the alligator in the thing. But
I'm sorry, but you made someone happy, man. My favorite part is you made someone happy that you will never fucking know. You will never hear about. You will never understand.
well, you can read it when they do the first to find. So
But
when
not
you
all people who find it are geocaching. That's what's interesting to me.
there are geocaches that I've put out there that I've never logged for that reason. I would like to go back there. There's two spots. One is in downtown West Chicago, and the other one is near the poop plant by where the Luigi's Pizza was.
Yeah.
Off
Yeah.
the Route 59.
Right off of 5938.
Like on the forest over there. Like it's near there.
No shit. That's cool.
Yeah, I never logged it online. I just made a cache.
I have a massive respect and admiration for the Buddhist mentality of art. The impermanence. Like one of my favorite art pieces ever was a woman who found a white wall or painted a white wall, and then she took a Sharpie and just made tiny little check marks over the whole thing. And it took her fucking days to fill the whole thing up with little tick marks. And the moment she finished the last one, she grabbed white paint, painted over the whole thing. And it was supposed to be like every woman's silent cry for help, or every time a woman was like not believed or, cast down for being a woman pretty much. And it was just like, and then you just whitewash over it. And, there's tons of different layers of symbolism there, but the impermanence of something of no one will ever fucking know. But if you flip that around and deconstruct it and then make it not about yourself, but about other people, that's so much fucking cooler. You make art for someone that you're never gonna fucking know about. You put a treasure in the middle of a place that someone will find at some time. Someone will find it, and their fucking brain is gonna explode. Even if for a second you changed someone's life, even for a second, that's magical, man. It's like being the guy who leaves porn behind Jewel. Bless that human being.
I always wondered like who those people would have been in our group. Like somebody eventually would have to, like somebody has to do that.
Dude.
I knew one kid whose brother did that.
For real?
Yeah.
You actually knew someone?
Yeah, he was weird. He
that's
probably was
worse.
a pedophile.
Oh. Ooh.
Probably. He was weird. You remember Ryan Kalin?
Yeah.
His older brother
Oh.
was weird.
I went to his house
Dude was weird.
Never met the brother. He was locked in a room.
Yeah, the older brother was weird.
Okay.
I remember him. I remember there was like condoms thrown at the grade school when we were young. Like, I found out what condoms were because Ryan Kaler's older brother like would throw them at the school. He'd like just leave them at the school, and like may or may not have been used. So
Fucking gross. Okay.
I think he was in high school when we were in grade school.
Oh God, even worse. Why would you fucking go near a grade school?
I don't know.
I mean,
But he would like from what I've heard, you know, I guess it's speculation, you know, looking back on it, but from what I heard, he would also be the one that would leave out the dirty magazines there was like a bridge at Gary's school, and underneath that bridge in the rocks, you could find dirty magazines.
Okay.
And he was the guy that would put them there.
see, okay, you just kind of fucking melted my brain for a second because I think easily for 35 years I've thought whoever was doing this was altruistic. They were doing it like, you know what? Old man McGregor did it for me. I'm going to leave this for some young kid to have their sexual awakening. Because I'll tell you, dude, like looking through the fucking magazines at a young age did more for me than any fucking education I had in class. They're like, women have a vagina. I'm like, show us. And then they show us the wet dog coming in through the cat door.
Oh man, that was weird.
I remember sitting in class with everyone in junior high.
You look at the girls differently after that. You're like, what is happening?
I remember side-eyeing people, trying to gauge their opinion and being like, yeah, this is visceral.
I can't imagine, like, if you're a girl, like, you had to find out
That's
that
what
was
I-
going to happen to you while
That's what I
other
was-
guys were
that's
watching
it.
you.
That's 100% it. Is I felt bad for people.
I felt bad for the girl.
Yes, because now people are going to look at them and judge them based on that. And I thought that I just kept looking for their reactions. Like, were they scared? Were they upset?
I'm mortified.
And I felt horrible for them. You know, my parents at a very fucking young age taught me all about that shit.
My dad just poked me in the chest and said, keep it in your pants. And I didn't even know what it was.
You're
He
like,
just like got mad at me
my
all of a sudden
wallet.
one day.
Okay, Dad.
Like I was going to go
He
out
got mad at you, and then
I was going to go on a date when I was like super young. And he just said, keep it in your pants.
well,
Like, what are you
what's super
talking-
young?
I don't remember anymore.
How much?
I don't remember.
I thought you said 34.
34. Keep it in your pants.
That was
No, he
my
just
mom's
did- he
rule.
just- He just did it. Yeah, you were 33.
35. 35 and married.
Well, that was your locker combination. 3, 33, 18.
Oh my, get the fuck, dude. Oh, the neurodivergent shit is starting to make sense. I could never remember my locker combination in high school. I would do it every day, and I could
Was-
never remember it.
Bubblegum, have sex with a girl, and then 18 was when you could do, or when you could drive, I think.
Oh my God. I remember this now.
Yeah, that's how I remembered it.
Fuck, that's so weird. I don't remember shit, man. God, that scares me.
You should have more vitamin B12.
Every fucking day. Every fucking day for like the last 6 or 7 years.
What is in vitamin B12?
It's vitamin. It's better than A, but not as good as C.
Do you know why I can remember so easily?
Why?
Because I drink. And I would streamline my brain by killing off the weak ones.
It's like
All-
Darwinism for memory.
Yeah, I would just kill off all the weak brain cells.
That's why you're not neurodivergent,
Yeah, that's why.
because you've killed all the good ones.
I've killed off all the weak ones.
That's not weak, son.
Those are the
Makes us
weak,
smart.
killing off the weak cells, weak brain cells, streamlining my brain. The old think meat is just as quick as a Ferrari machine.
Says the smarter of the two here. Got to get you a red hat, man.
I'm gonna get me a think machine.
There was a great meme after Trump got in office of this redneck sitting in a fucking field just looking like fucking depressed, and it says, I can't wait to get me one of them engineer jobs once all the illegals are gone.
Yeah, Heather and I joked of like, those guys better start working on kneeling over and picking all them strawberries and everything now that the jobs are all available.
Oh shit! Oh, speaking of which, West Chicago had one of the biggest protests.
Good.
Yesterday, because yesterday was day without an immigrant day.
Where did they have it?
Downtown. I don't know. The video I was watching made it look like someplace I've never seen before, but it was West Chicago. And then DeKalb, bunch of fucking businesses closed down. That's fucking awesome.
A bunch of businesses in Elgin closed down.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't hear about that.
All the Mexican grocery stores.
Oh,
closed
really?
down. Yeah, except for Fresh Market.
Oh,
There was a
that's the one I
lot of people were pissed off because Fresh Market didn't close. At least the one over on Summit didn't.
That's the one I like.
You go to the Fresh Market on Summit?
On Summit, not the
By
one
my
on
house?
McLean. Yeah, the one on McLean's gross.
Wait.
By the way, dude, since we live in the
there's
same
a Fresh Market on McLean?
yeah, right next to the Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No.
No.
Yeah, the one by my house is awesome.
It's fucking great.
Heather and I go there often.
Yeah, the produce is outstanding.
Yeah. It does have, I think, the best produce in Elgin.
Easily hands down.
Yeah.
There is a buffet here in town called the Elgin Buffet.
Nick went there with
John,
Bella.
do not go.
It was this, like guaranteed diarrhea.
It's guaranteed dysentery. It is
Dysentery?
the worst fucking food I've ever had in my life.
Was it not chewy enough for you?
Well, okay. So I set myself up for that. But Andy and I went.
This raw fish isn't chewy enough.
Where's the crispy edges?
I'm never coming back here again.
Where's my dino nuggies? No, so we went in there because, I fucking love a buffet. And by the way, there's a new one opening up in West Dundee. Oh, thank fucking God. Cannot wait for it to open. New Dragon Inn. Drove by it today. They're not open yet. Super excited.
Do you like West Dundee?
Yeah, I like Dundee. Dundee's a cool town. It reminds me of like Sycamore, but like more shit to do.
I love the Dundee area.
Me
There's
too.
so much shit to do there.
Yeah.
East Dundee is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it
where they have the Oktoberfest.
Oh, where you drink?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So this buffet here in Elgin.
We get pretzels there.
Oh,
And the dips are amazing.
sir, you had me at puh.
Guess what? They're chewy.
No,
They were
like
super
a good
chewy.
fucking pretzel. The ones that break, get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here with that shit.
So when we went there, they had
you're
like
co-opting my story.
they had a Brandon. They had a Let's Go Brandon sauce that went with these things. And I said, "Where's the Trump one? You guys must have run out of that one because of all the dumb juice." Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Oh, fuck that. Let's go, Brandon. Jesus Christ. I actually read the story about that. He was a race car driver, and everyone was saying fuck Biden, and the announcer couldn't understand he was saying fuck Biden. The entire crowd was saying fuck Biden. So he says, "Oh, look at the crowd. They're saying, let's go, Brandon."
Fuck you, Biden.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, so
West
Dundee,
Elgin
Elgin.
is fucking gross. We went in there because, buffets, you do it every once in a while. Like you eat White Castle every once in a while.
It's probably like 15 years since I've been to a buffet.
Dude, the last buffet I went to, I wrote a comic about, and that was real. Because I walked into the bathroom, and the entire, not the stall, John, the bathroom was covered in blood and shit.
But that's a hell of a buffet.
I walked out, I paid my bill, and I left. I just grabbed Andy. I'm like, we're gone. Let's go. So the last buffet I went to was Elgin Buffet. Fucking gross. You know what a buffet? There's maybe like 10 troughs, right? There's like 10 troughs of food.
Yeah.
And you go to each trough and
It's
there's
a
like
bucket of
there's
poorly made
different
food.
buckets of whatever they have. And typically, even at a shitty place like Golden Corral, which by the way is one of the worst restaurants on the planet. Any fucking restaurant where MST3K makes fun of it more than a couple times is fucking terrible. Even at Golden Corral, there's one or two things there. The honey fucking biscuits are amazing. At every buffet, there's at least one thing that's like, you know what? This is all sewage. I'm going to have another helping of this.
Is it the bananas with the red sauce on it that are for some reason inexplicably at every single Asian restaurant?
I've never seen anyone fucking eat it either.
Me neither. I don't even know what the red sauce is. No, I take that back. I've eaten it. It tastes like it's just bananas. I couldn't even tell you what the red sauce was.
Okay, good. Mystery
Red.
solved.
It's red long rope flavored. I don't know.
Long rope. Long rope. So we tried everything that looked actually edible, and all of it tasted. It wasn't bland. It wasn't like, oh, this needs more salt. This is, it needs better cooking. It was fucking gross.
Did they have any of the little squids there? That
Yes.
Like it tastes like if you somehow mixed like hot dog and fish. those squids are so gross.
Oh, but
and when you bite into it, it squirts out. Oh, like a lime.
Dude, I told
like
you about
citrus.
the live octopus I ate, right? That was at Mitsuwa before it was called Mitsuwa. It was Yaohan. One of those fucking little food vendors.
Heather and I just went to Mitsuwa.
Oh my god, dude! Santuka is still
And
hands
H-Mart.
down my favorite. Oh, which one?
The one in Schaumburg.
Oh, wait. It's open?
The one in Schaumburg?
Fuck yes.
It's not as good as the one in Naperville.
Naperville is the best one. We went up to the one in Niles, which is the biggest one.
Shit, I didn't know.
Fucking terrible. We will
Serious?
never go back to that one. We
To
will
the
drive to
H-Mart?
Naperville. Huh?
Yeah, the H-Mart in Naperville is awesome.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
But Mitsuwa is amazing. Heather and I went there. We spent like 3 hours just walking around.
Uh-huh.
Loved it there.
Dude,
the bookstore is the bookstore is huge now.
I know.
Huge.
They
They
co-opted
take up
like
so much
three
stuff.
other fucking stores and just really built it out. And the model section, dude, I got really into these fucking models.
It does look neat over there.
Oh my god.
So I don't know. I would try and buy One Punch Man, or I would buy
Manga?
Yeah, I would love to buy One Punch Man or the what's the one with the skeleton, the dungeons unloved skeleton warrior or whatever.
There's a few.
I would totally buy those. Those are super cool.
Have you
Anyway.
tried Free Ren? I don't think it would be up your alley, but like I try to convince everyone I know to watch it. Or the manga is fucking breathtaking. But Free Ren is basically like 100 years ago, a party got together to fight the Demon King, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now the last living person of the party is coming to grips with the fact that she's going to live much fucking longer because she's an elf. And these people that she went on this journey with was like the best time of her life, and she didn't realize it at the time.
Wow, that's incredibly compelling.
It's so fucking good, and like there's like whole
Like
fucking,
as a 40-year-old, 45, almost 45-year-old man,
That's it.
There's something that sounds really sad and
It's beautiful.
interesting about that.
and like after like 100 chapters, she starts to realize that she was in love with one of the guys in the group, and he was dropping hints left and right, and she's like, I didn't fucking see it. And it's
Is it
so
on Crunchyroll?
Huh?
Is it on Crunchyroll?
I don't know. I have them if you want.
Sorry, I cut you off on your
No,
story
no.
about shitty Asian.
But like, so like
food.
one of the guys that like the priest of the group is dying, and he has an apprentice, and he makes the girl promise to take the apprentice with him, and the girl's like, no, like I'm solo. I don't fucking take anybody with me. And she
She is the last one left?
yeah.
Okay.
There's a dwarf left, but the dwarf is like he never comes into the story very often.
Which means that he's definitely going to be coming into the story.
Yeah, at some point, but not really. Like it's not the same kind of story that we're used to. It's not like this like cut and dry Odyssey kind of story. It's her going on this journey, and she keeps like seeing these old places that she's already been to and doing these things. And it's funny, it's heartwarming, but really like this, like I had the time of my life and I had no fucking idea what was going on when I was doing it. And now I'm looking back and all those important people are gone. Like it's really fucking beautiful. And there's a difference between art and animation, right? Art is what the style looks like, right? The animation is how fluid it is. You know, like do they do 3 frames per second, or do they do like 20? The animation in it is fucking beautiful. Like it
Did
looks like
did a big studio do it?
fuck. I'm forgetting who the studio was, but it is one of the bigger ones. It is one of the ones who like take their time and actually give a shit about it. But it's 25 episodes, man,
And it's done?
no.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to like watch something that
But
just goes
I will
forever.
say, you can get to the end of the anime and go, okay, I kind of see where it's going, and I don't need to continue it because this story was fucking great. But like the manga is still very popular. It's going on.
There was always that line at the office of when was it Andy who said, how come people won't tell you when you're living
it was
the good
Andy
old days?"
Bernard.
Yeah. And that's always like been like really poignant of like,
Why do you never know when the good old days are actually happening?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
and then I feel like there's like eras of good old days. At least I felt like in my life I've had eras of good old days. Like there's like times when it was like a whole different group of people and a whole different vibe and a whole different thing, and then it just ends, and then
Yeah.
another book starts.
You
so to
never know
speak.
when it ends, though.
Well, you never know when it ends. Do you feel like that's the same thing with you?
Oh, God, yeah.
What
Of
would
course.
what would the Jay's eras be?
Oh, shit. I mean, in my head, I can think of them, but trying to, like, practically explain what they are is very confusing because I have to explain, like, for me, it makes sense because I've lived my journey. But for me to say during this time period, because of XYZ, but I have to go back to this other thing to explain why this connected to this, I don't know, a bunch.
I'm interested.
So I'd say starting my business, I fucking hated it while I was doing it.
You didn't have any eras before you starting a business?
No. I mean, I'm just trying to shotgun where these are at. Of course, I had, I think high school as a total thing because.
Did you have an era before high school?
Yeah, of course. But like my memory is so faded. I don't have a good memory. My memory is like if this whole room is my entire brain, I got the fridge.
Well, there's drinks in there, so that's not bad. Well, that makes me sad. I talk to a lot of people that don't have very good memory, and I don't know what's neurotypical for memory. Do you know?
I talk to a lot of people who remember things, which I think is cool. Like
you don't remember anything?
You remember my locker combination. I couldn't tell you where any of my lockers were.
I can
One.
exactly
I can tell you where
what
one was. I don't remember. It just until you or someone else says something, it doesn't fucking exist.
Well, I think with my brain, that's how that works. Like I can't just like wander around aimlessly in my mind and pull things out.
You can't?
No, I need like a key via usually like a memory or something, or somebody's going to say something to trigger it. But then like it unlocks like a whole different part.
Well, isn't that how the brain works though? The brain's not just like a fucking hard drive. It has to connect one thing to another.
Yeah, I have to get like, I got to get like kind of routed.
I mean,
something.
Yeah, but like I don't route to it. It's like that road's closed.
Well, then when I reminded you of what your locker was, did it remind you of where the locker one was? Or what your locker combination was? Did it remind you where your locker was?
No. I know where one of them was.
Do you remember where you did your painting?
Right next to that locker.
You don't remember where it was?
Yeah, the locker was right there by the study hall. Second floor.
So there you go. You remember.
But I don't remember the other three.
Until I say something to remind you.
Maybe, yeah.
I remember you were next to Jake McPherson.
Really?
I think so.
I don't remember that.
I thought you were.
Your memory has always been like something I've been so fucking jealous of. Especially like when it comes to like books. Like you can like read a book and actually remember it. That's fucking
I have to be able to look at the book. I have a shelf full of books. I couldn't tell you what's on the shelf.
Yeah, you've told me this.
But once I look at the book, then I'll remember.
But you're dropping knowledge. Like you come over here, we sit up in the kitchen and you're dropping like all these like, well, I read this. Hey, have you read this? Did you hear this? I'll listen to a podcast and maybe grasp something. I have to listen to it like 2 or 3 times to actually fucking remember anything.
I listened to a podcast about J.B. Pritzker today.
Oh. I'm liking him if he wasn't so fucking anti-gun.
He was his dad like died at a really young age. Both of his parents died at a really young age. Like it made me really feel differently about him. I always just thought he was just like a rich kid. His dad like had a grabber when he was young, and then his mom was an alcoholic. He like literally like just had to take care of his mom. Like he'd have to like call the cops or stay up when he was a little kid to make sure she didn't burn the house down with a cigarette in her mouth. I don't know. It makes me respect him more.
It does. Born rich makes me not trust people.
Well, I mean,
or like them.
you want to like make fun of Trump for being a billionaire asshole, but like Pritzker's a billionaire too.
Which I don't like.
I don't like it either. But if you're going to have somebody on your side, you might as well have billionaire Bruce Wayne. I mean, Batman.
Dude.
Totally not billionaire Bruce Wayne.
Do you think we're going to see that? Do you think we're going to see
a fight of billionaires?
Well,
I mean, for years, like they were told that George
nice
Soros was this like, an evil Jew with money trying to undo everything and giving money to the Democratic Party.
I think
then,
anyone who's
it
considered
happened,
evil right now is fucking on our side.
It happened right in front of everybody's faces where like the election was bought. Like if George Soros did anything at the level, like, and I've listened to like, I didn't know who George Soros was forever. And even when I look into it, like, yeah, he put money down, but like, if he did anything at the level that Elon Musk did, like they would be losing their minds. But it never happened.
The hypocrisy level is insane.
Like they literally like they were told that a boogeyman existed, and they created a boogeyman to fight that boogeyman that is just as crazy and evil.
That's fascist 101. That's like in the first 3 fucking rules.
Create the boogeyman.
Yeah, you create the boogeyman. That's why the Jews were said to be the boogeyman. That's why rule number fucking 2, the second thing that came from Hitler's lips was to get rid of the Jews. They took them out of all public service. They took them all out of fucking jobs. They made them illegal.
They needed to have
3 months. Motherfuckers doing it in 10 days.
58 days.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it is crazy the amount of shit that's happened in the time that we've had.
I love my mom. I miss my mom. I thank every fucking day that she is not here to see this shit. Because she was ready to fight tooth and nail. Her last wish was to go down to fucking state capitol so she could rim someone out.
It's not going to do anything.
I know.
Dude, like I feel like when the tariffs when Canada went off, and like, I don't know. But then again, like you can only see the world through Reddit, but it's like lots of people who write things, but it's the only way to really see stuff, because I don't know where else you're going to see it. You know what I mean?
Dude, there is not a single news channel right now that is saying things outside of real basic bullshit.
It is terrifying. Yeah.
And they're taking like a day or two to get the fucking news out, which is pissing me off.
But when the tariffs went up against Canada. Like they came together and they started like, boycotting, American booze and doing things specifically against red states, which I thought was helpful. But I remember just thinking like, we Americans are fucking helpless and there's nothing we can do about it because we'll just get slaughtered. Yep. And it sucks that like I would have to move to Canada to fight America if like shit really went down.
Right.
It's really the only way to do it.
Or fight from within.
I don't know what you do. Dude, like the people who really want to take everything over are the tech goons, and we have in our pockets are listening to what we're saying right now.
Bullshit, I turned my shit off.
Well, mine's still open.
Okay.
But I mean, we're recording this, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I was going to say, this goes online. Yeah. It doesn't fucking matter.
But yeah, dude, like they're going to...
I don't have my phone on most of the day anymore. I don't fucking trust anything. And I know it's stupid because you want to get technical. There's fucking microphones on your computer. I turn it off on my laptop, but like I know there's shit on the motherboard.
I just don't know.
If there's a speaker, there's a microphone.
I don't know how this is all going to play out. I don't think it's going to be awesome.
No, I think we're going to see true poverty. I
feel bad for the kids. I feel bad for young kids right now. I feel bad for Bella. I feel bad for Logan.
Yeah, me too.
I feel bad for Dan. I'm going to be seeing Dan graduate
That's what you
basic
said.
training in 2
Yeah.
weeks.
God, 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks from
Oh,
today.
shit. Everything I'm reading says save more money than you think you need to. Like, don't spend money. So I've stopped. Unless it's like for my mom shit right now. Unless it's for like food, I'm done.
Other than I pay bills.
Well, yeah, so utilities, shit, whatever.
I don't know.
But I'm done. I'm not going out. I'm not doing anything.
Weaponized thrift.
Yeah. But I'm also scared because my 2 biggest fucking clients ditched me last year. Like, after doing my taxes, 90% of my income were these 2 clients. Jesus Christ. And I stopped working in July to take care of my mom and shit. You know,
You going to hit the ground running?
trying to. Problem is trying to get people to pay for stuff.
Is there like a filming season? Is it summer filming season?
There is for weddings, but I don't want to do weddings anymore. I can't physically. My friend, he's taking over the shooting part of that business when we get bookings. But the problem is people still want wedding prices from 2008. They still want video prices from the early 2000s. And it's like, well, that shit doesn't exist anymore.
Dude, the escalation in price from pre-COVID to now is like 3 times more over the course of...
The funny part about that is we've only raised our price like 15%.
Yeah, you're losing money.
From COVID? Yeah. And people still don't want to pay it because they think it's too high. It's like, I'll break down the pricing for you. I'll show you exactly where everything goes. There's no fucking profit there.
Yeah.
You want us to do profit? We're going to do a shitty job. Or we're going to charge double.
Even like side gigs are like really hard. Like I've looked into like making art online and I don't know, like doing like a little manufacturing thing, like getting a CNC or a laser cutter.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Or a Cricut.
Do you remember Ben Garby?
No.
Former Fat Boys.
Yes.
Okay. He wants to do. I'm not going to say what he wants to do on here because he's trying to keep it hush hush right now. But he's thinking about those kind of things, and he's really kind of thinking about the future. But like, I can't dedicate that kind of time to do what he wants to do. It's much more bigger base. Like, I need money now. I need the fucking jobs now. I need to pay for bills now.
I mean, if you have, I mean, the possibility to have like a miniature renaissance in manufacturing on small goods is definitely there.
Yes.
Because you can get, all sorts of opportunities to make small things super cheap in a garage. For like as low as $500.
I got a 3D printer.
You just need to, I think the hard part is like knowing what's going to sell because you have to like turn it over really fast.
Yeah.
I think with manufacturing, for the most part, you get like that one big client and you make your, like, this is the one pin I'm going to make for this engine. And I make these things and I could put my kids and everybody else's kids through college doing that. Now it seems like it's like an art thing and it's hard like you have to, once you make something, it's going to be stolen by everybody.
Oh, of course.
Which is awful. But like another way of doing it is like, if you can figure out how to make the filament would be a way of doing it. Or if you can make like the actual material, there's a lot of money in like just getting
become irreplaceable.
Yeah.
It's one of the 48 rules.
If you can figure out a way on how to like, you don't have to find the gold, but you can sell shovels.
Bingo. Become irreplaceable. Yeah, no, I mean that's fun.
But it's super easy to be replaceable though. Like there's like 5 companies that are irreplaceable.
Not companies, the person.
No, you can always be replaced.
Of course you can be replaced.
Easily.
You go to someplace else where you are irreplaceable.
Everybody's replaceable. I don't see anybody.
Oh, you nihilistic piece of shit.
Even like, no, I mean, it's somebody can always take your job.
Of course.
Because everybody's going to want to have the cheaper. There's so many options now.
Mm-hmm. There is.
And like, if they don't, like, we were just talking about your prices.
Mm.
Like, there's a million people that are not only willing to do exactly what you do, but they'll do it for cheaper.
They won't do it as good as me, and they won't do it with everything else I bring to it. It's not the quality of the product.
But
again,
those people don't care.
You're right. You're right.
As an architect, like, nobody knows what I do. Nobody cares what I do. They just think that I'm a lot of people that just think that architects are like an old profession that's not needed anymore.
Like AI can do it. Build me a house.
Exactly.
Build me a building.
You can ask AI to do a plan, and they'll do it out. And then I'm just a thing that, like, I'm an old remnant of a system where they're going to require a stamp and a signature.
Yeah.
Once that gets undone, like,
I get that from marketing all the time, but that's what it is. But the problem is, like, AI can't think. AI can only do what it's told.
Yeah, but AI isn't going to train people on what's good and what is bad. Like,
correct.
I think it's
That's
a
what I'm
massive.
saying.
There's so much out there, and people don't know what is good or bad.
Right.
They just want to have exactly what everybody else has,
Right.
which costs nothing.
Right. I've heard people say that about video all the time. They're like, "Well, I can just get AI to do it." I'm like, "Cool. See how that goes."
But if they're
You'll
getting,
be happy for a month.
well, I think a lot. Like, dude, if you remove arts from the schools, and you remove like any sort of like culture of things,
Yes.
you know, if you have like a real dumbing down of culture, like
Yeah.
like the reality show, it becomes culture now. Like when the Kardashians is American culture.
That's fucked up. Yeah, it's true.
But it is true.
It is true. Yeah,
You
I
know?
agree.
People don't want the next Godfather. They want to be the center of it. They want to be Earth's main character.
Wow. Yeah. Good point. It's sad.
I don't know. I don't know how to do this. And I don't think it's like this outside of America. At least not like it is in America. I think America's like uniquely gross.
Oh, a whole fucking heartedly.
So I think America, the reason why there's more billionaires in America is that we're just like really good cattle for billionaires.
Well, it's fat and lazy. The average American is fat and lazy. I'm not saying fat as in physically. I mean, we like our TVs. We like our things. We like the status quo.
Well, no, we work a shit ton,
Of course we do.
but we don't get any of the money.
Correct.
It goes to
Lazy
the guy at
doesn't
the
mean you're
top.
not doing anything. Lazy means you don't stand up
It means
for the
you're not-
fucking shit.
It means you're not rich already, because if you were successful, that means that God, if you were a good person, God would have made you rich.
Dude, there
And
are
it's
people
your
who
fault.
actually fucking think that.
And it's your fault for being not a good Christian. And if you were a hard worker, you would be rich already. But because you're not. And obviously, because I have money, I'm better than you. And my proof is because I have money because God gave it to me.
Now, you used to think that too. Not
Yeah, dude. I ran the gamut, man. I was like a pretty. Like I was a kid from DuPage County.
yeah.
I was a conservative kid from DuPage County who joined the military. I, did all this stuff with Jesus, and we didn't go to church, but like, I don't know, man. Like there was like a Fox Newsification of things, and I didn't know anything about it. I just knew enough to know, well, that's good and that's bad. And I was told that things are good and bad. Dude, oh God, I don't know if I ever told you this. This is really bad. So, oh my God, this is so fucking embarrassing. I remember like Sarah when, oh, this is so fucked up. Because she's Jewish, I essentially said, oh yeah, you're going to go to hell because you're not Jewish or because you don't believe in Jesus. Like I said that.
Did you believe it, or was it just like automatic?
It was just automatic. It was just like, well, that's what, even though I don't go to church,
So it was just verbal vomiting.
Yeah,
It was
I just repeated what everybody else said.
you didn't believe. Did you believe it? or-
No, I didn't even believe any of the stuff. But
Well,
like
I mean, that's
I would
good.
just say it.
That's that's better than the belief of it. That
No.
you were like condemning someone else for their beliefs.
No, but I it was like so matter of fact when I said it.
It just was.
It was just like, well, yeah, you are, but that's not a big deal. I remember like her being like, and I couldn't understand why she was so mad at me.
Wow, that says a lot about the indoctrination and the mind.
Oh, big time.
Wiping.
And I remember, like, when I was in the military, Fox News was always on. And I remember, his name was Jason something. He's really good friends with Fredo. I can't remember his last name. But he had a business degree from University of Iowa. He was a really smart guy, a little arrogant, but he was smart. And he makes a lot of money in finance now, liberally minded guy. We were at a party over at Larry and Kelly's house, and we were talking about something with George. At the time, it was George Bush.
Yeah, okay.
And, I'm like super rah-rah and George Bush,
Were you really?
Oh, yes.
Jesus.
Dude, I was like mega. My older brother and I were like cheering when John Kerry lost. Like we thought we won the lottery. Like, and I look back at that now, like John Kerry was a Vietnam veteran who they smeared him and essentially saying he like didn't do anything. And the only reason they smeared him was because when he got out, he was anti-war. And like that's like, dude, were veterans spit on? Yeah, by the anti-war people.
Yeah.
When they're the ones that like love to say like, well, we need to take care of the dude. That was you. That was you who spit on people. Anyway, we were at this party and we were talking about George Bush and some shit like that. And I'm just telling exactly what Fox News was telling me to think that day.
Yeah.
And he he really put me in my place because that dude knew facts. There's nothing I couldn't say that he he knew everything to say. He had a counter to everything that I had to say already. And he did it in front of all these people, and I was embarrassed. And I remember just being mad. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm going to show that motherfucker. I'm going to go to college, and I'm going to show that motherfucker. And you know what I did?
You went to college.
I went to college, and I said, holy shit, I was a dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, it's like conservative views do not exist outside that petri dish. Dude, once you break away, and this is like when I tell people, like, dude, I was that guy. I was mega conservative. And I'm not anymore.
It's weird to think of you like that because you're like the exact opposite in my head.
But you get indoctrinated. It's so easy to get indoctrinated.
It is the Murdoch fucking doctrine.
Oh, big time, dude! I remember saying mean shit to you about like being gay. Like
Yeah.
I was like, well, Jay, just mean, stupid, ignorant shit. And when I talk to people now, oh my god, like, dude, when I talk to Hispanic people that voted for Trump, and I think, you know what, like, I had the shaved head in the military, white dude, and I know what those guys say. When people of color and women are not in the room,
Yeah.
I hear what they really say.
Yeah.
I know what their thoughts are, and guess what? They don't think of you as a human.
No. It's dude, we had an electrician here before we hired Heather's brother, who was starting to put stuff in. He talked to me and he was saying something about, man, you got a lot of colored neighbors, and I was like, you gotta go. He just kept mouthing off, but I was like, I don't care if it's done or not. You got to go. He's like, well, I still got a couple days left. I'm like, no, you don't. You're done. I don't want you in my house. Like that kind of like bullshit. Hey, you're white and I'm white, so I get to be racist around you and you're going to understand what I'm saying. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's gross, man.
It's gross.
And
Like,
it
it makes me feel fucking icky.
And it was all And I think like Obama getting elected brought all that up.
Obama was one of the best things that happened to our country.
He was very charismatic. He was still mega conservative.
Yeah. We have not
I was never
left.
embarrassed.
You were embarrassed that Obama won?
No, I've been embarrassed since Obama.
How so? Oh,
Like Donald Trump and all
you
that?
had that hit that
like,
history.
dude, we went from Obama to Trump, and it's so embarrassing, so incredibly embarrassing. I remember. Oh my god, I remember getting an earful from a British girl on New Year's Eve in Germany in 2002. It would have been just like so. It would have been like December 31st, 2002.
Okay.
Of like a lady laying into me saying how dumb George Bush was, and I'm like fucking mega proud.
Yeah.
Oh, you might not be the smartest guy in the room, but he's making all the right decisions, and he surrounded himself with smart people. So it doesn't matter. I just saying just crap because I just didn't want to be
bullet
embarrassed
points.
and thinking that like Jesus, George Bush, like and then as you go and get an education, you think George Bush really is stupid. I would kill to have George Bush now.
Right. I heard someone else say that. Like I would take stupid over maniacal.
Oh my god, I would take a dumb who looks like a chimpanzee in a suit any day.
You saw
Donald Trump.
the photo of like all the living presidents at the funeral.
I mean, I saw the video of them.
Like there's a lot of photos, right?
This is Jimmy Carter's thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And like even fucking Bush just looked presidential in his old ass age. And there's Trump like this.
Yeah, he is just
Fucking lean over. And
he is a mouth breathing doofus.
praise the fucking camera guy for moving to the exact right position where there's a column blocking out dump and dumpette and just showing all the other presidents and the wives. And I'm like, fucking good.
He's such a doofus. He was like sleeping during the thing. Dude, that guy, he's got a
There's so much we
steady
haven't talked
diet
about.
of McDonald's and everything just rotting his brain.
Dude, if you and I were to do this show every fucking day, we could do an hour a day and still have fucking room to go.
Yeah, dude, like just in the time that we sit here, like there's fucking breaking news every
Oh, that's right. Like
20
it
minutes.
came up on your phone,
Yeah,
but like,
dude, I can look at
has
the
anything
thing.
else
Probably.
happened? It's 8:37 on Tuesday. Elon Musk and Trump prosecutor target individuals leaking doggy staff ID
It's
identities.
Doge.
No, it's not. Fuck it. They're doggies. I'm not trying to insult them. It's fucking stupid. And it's an illegal practice that what they're doing.
Wow, what a bunch of faggots. Jeez. Please let us use that word.
Please.
Please let us use that word. We'll use it for good, and then you can have it back.
And then we will never
Actually,
say
they're not
it
going to
again.
want it back anymore.
No, of course
Like,
not, because then it's
they have
tainted.
to. Yeah, it would be tainted. It'd be like Nazi. It'd be like taking the word away.
You know what the beautiful thing about it is yet that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, essentially, because like the swastika was a good luck symbol.
Tibetan peace.
It was a symbol that was turned into something good and then ruined. And I want to use that with the word faggot. I just want to use it. I want to ruin them. Not because it's a bad word, but because they think that it's a bad
Because
word.
they think it's a bad word. I don't know how to end this. I just want to say bad words that I don't want to say, but like I think it's justifiably. I think that's such a beautiful sentiment.
Please.
You know what? I would love to have an LGBTQIA+ person on the show who believes in this sentiment or who doesn't, because I am all up for a conversation. I am not up for someone who just believes in our way of thinking and just goes along blindly, because that's fucking stupid. I would like someone to like say, this is why you shouldn't.
I want them to be I want to be them to be the one calling them that.
Yes,
Dude, if I could
that's
get,
my hope.
Dude,
Yes,
if I could get somebody who's just like
Okay.
magnificently gay,
John,
calling Donald Trump a faggot,
watch the
that would be the greatest thing ever.
Yes, watch the fucking South Park episode. South Park fag. I can't believe I'm YouTubing this.
This is a great podcast.
At least when we had the computer, we could just share stuff on the computer back and forth. Yeah, like you can watch the episode. So anyway,
Pez was asking about that. Like, how do you get more people on the show? And like the nuances of being able to podcast.
It's
like,
hard
apart.
to do. 3's hard, man.
3's doable.
3's doable.
3 to 4 max if people know when to talk.
And that's what it is. You need to learn body language. You need to learn like when to shut the fuck up and when to like continue talking. And
do you remember how hard it was when we were podcasting and we were doing it in 2 different locations?
it was so hard.
And then it got super easy. And I think our best
I did it for
podcasting,
like 4 years.
our best podcasting was when we did it separate.
Oh.
Because we were able to split things up. When I wasn't drunk as a skunk, it was the best podcasting that we've
Those
ever
got
done.
rough.
Those got rough.
Yeah, no, we were good because like we got good at it. Like remember like our first episode doing this, we were like, what do you want to talk about? Here's a box. look at my box.
Oh, when we came back to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had like all these things that we wanted to do, and we weren't hiding behind our personas anymore.
Yeah,
and you're
right.
like, well, how do I legitimize this and do the things that we wanted to do? And it's just me neuro dumping.
Yeah.
Look at my box of stuff.
Info dumping.
Info dumping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we didn't talk about that real quick. Can we just talk about that really quick? Because I find it fucking fascinating.
yeah.
The love languages, as we know, are, gift giving, quality time, touch, the other ones. So let's talk about the ones that are more important and more on our level. This is really fascinating. I read about this in a neurodivergent subreddit that I'm on, and I don't know where it's at right now. Did I put it in the group chat? I put it in the group chat.
Is neurodivergent just something where people just want to be different? Is this a juggalo thing where people just want to be different?
You're such an asshole.
They just want to be different and elitist. I mean, you've already said just calling people neurotypical is an insult.
Well, it was, but like it's
Dude, Jay, is there anything you do that isn't you being a gatekeeping asshole? Jesus Christ. Seriously? Are you're going to do this to us?
so. I'm the one who says you can't use faggot. I'm the one who says you can't use retard. Cool. I'm glad I'm the gatekeeper.
No.
Asshole.
Yeah, I know.
You can't hurt people's feelings. So, info dumping is sharing detailed information about a passion or interest, often at length. Where are we at? 3 hours?
I know.
As a way to connect deeply and express affection.
And this rock I got when I was 6 years old. Oh my God.
I mean, oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, the first few episodes were rough, but
They
to
were.
be honest, they were really fun. Like one of my favorite things, and I say it all the fucking time, is everything goes in the dumpster. Like that was fucking meaningful, dude. That hit me hard. Parallel play or
As you're going to be going through your Ma stuff.
yeah, that's
Isn't that fucking awful?
that's all I've been thinking about.
Yeah, you look
for the
at it and
past
you're just
couple
like,
months.
this thing that was so important to them. Oh, no. It's the things that where it's so important, but you don't know that it's important. I have so many things that I like have locked away
I know.
that nobody knows about. Like it's not on the
The mantle.
it's
or the
not on the
shelf.
mantle. It doesn't have a label on it.
Yeah.
It's not any of these things, but it's so important that I've carried it with me for decades. That stuff is just going to get thrown in the dumpster.
It's just gonna get thrown away because no one's gonna know the importance of it.
Yeah,
Like my mom has all these rocks from around the fucking planet. She has dust and ash and sand.
and you don't even know where they're from.
I don't know where it's from.
That's why I tell my mom, I was like, Mom, label things.
Write this shit down.
Label things. I've labeled all my stuff.
Good.
Or I've been labeling all my stuff.
Parallel play, spending time alongside one another, even though you're not doing the same activity.
You and Andy do that
all the time. Like that's drastic.
Heather doesn't want to have anything to do with that. if we're doing 2 separate things, she just gets frustrated. And
I
leaves.
get penguin pebbling, which I really like. It's like, hey, I found this rock or this leaf or this thing that reminded me of you. So it's like, hey, I found this thing while I was walking. It made me think about that time that, you know.
I do that all the time.
Yes.
And it is so it's so like demoralizing when they're like,
My thing is
so demoralizing.
oh my God. So mine is like, I watched this movie. I think you will love it. And then someone doesn't watch it. And it's like, that's my like turbo love language or like anime or whatever. It's like, I know this shit so fucking well.
Well, now I
and
feel bad
know
that you've pointed all these things and I haven't been able to watch any of them.
You have a life. That's different. There's a difference between I can't versus no.
Okay, so I'm married, right? I'm married.
Oh, yeah,
now.
You just celebrated your anniversary
The
too.
second I did 8 years.
Yeah.
If I put a movie on, the second I put that movie on, like everything changes. It'd say, "What are you doing?" Like, like I could if I'm watching YouTube videos or just going through some shit, not a big deal. But if I put a movie on,
Really?
now an event has been created. Some sort of thing is going on, and now Heather's not taking part in it.
Oh.
And if I'm and then she'll be like, "Well, why don't you want to watch that movie with me?"
Well, sit down and watch Free Ren.
And it turns into that type of stuff.
Oh, that's
So it's like
a bummer. Yeah, you said you can't watch bad movies at home. I gotta pee.
I love watching bad movies.
I know,
but like
I wish
Heather
you would
wants to.
come
If
over.
I have a movie on, Heather wants to watch it too. And if she doesn't like it,
That's a fucking and any movie can be enjoyable. Just make fun
this
of
is
it.
why it's helpful that I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, right,
And
right.
I just watch whatever I want.
Fuck
early in the
yeah.
morning.
Watch Free Ren.
Where's Free Run? Where can I
It's
find
on
it?
my server. I gotta piss, dude, like really bad.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I get to talk about whatever I want then. So Jay is totally being a gatekeeping motherfucker. I knew it. No, he's not. So Pez, I'm talking to you, buddy. We can figure out a way on how you got to ask us questions or something. Because I know that you want to make this like a thing where you get to be involved, and we would love to have you involved. So tell us, help us help you get you involved. I know you're also a really busy guy, and you have approximately 4 million children, and it's hard to get you out of the house. But we can probably get you. I don't know. Tell us how to help you. You know, we talk about Legos. Matter of fact, there's a really awesome Lego documentary. If you haven't seen it, I'll be disappointed in you as a friend. And yeah. What else? Logan, also very proud of you, buddy. I look forward to seeing what you're going to be doing. And he's back.
Yeah, that bitch. We hate that person that
No.
you were just talking about.
No, he's a good person.
Call that
actually.
person a faggot.
No, I like that person.
Oh, that person's
Yeah.
awesome. They must be neurodivergent.
He might be. I don't know. Probably not. Although, unless he's a gatekeeping asshole.
Now I'm paying attention.
Are you?
You're like, I already.
You were like,
I
you
already
went
ended it.
immediately into pee dance mode.
Dude, I've been pee dancing for half an hour, and I'm just like,
Did you know that if you just wrap it around your finger, you could just stop it altogether?
wait, do what?
Yeah.
How?
Did I ever tell you the story?
No.
So when I was
who's big enough to wrap around?
So when I was in basic training, somewhere around like the third or somewhere like the second or third week mark is when they make you do a piss test to make sure you don't piss hot. And I
Hot?
think like you don't pop hot for drugs,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So
I was like, you might
and I
be
think
sweating.
I think the reason they do it that far in is that like if anybody thinks they're going to be getting out of this thing,
Oh, okay.
you're SOL.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It'll be out of your system in 2 weeks unless you are a massive pothead or you like smoked like literally a shit ton like the second that you left. Like it's the only way. We did have one guy that ended up popping hot and they kicked him out. I can't imagine going like several weeks into basic training and then getting kicked out.
No shit.
There's other people who like we had one guy was in the entire time and got kicked out the weekend before.
The week before?
Yeah, he went through everything, and he ended up getting a medical discharge because he had night blindness, and they didn't want to get him in. I feel bad for him.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
But so would they have you do this piss test? Like they make you have to do all these classes and everything. because there was a, at least when I was in at that time, like you had a big exam at your 4th week, and if you fail, you get washed back. While you're watching these things, they're like, everybody will get scheduled when they're going to be doing their drug test. Like they make you drink a shit ton of water because they want to make sure that nobody's going to be sitting around. So they're like, you motherfuckers better drink all this fucking water. So when we get in line, you're actually going to have to piss. And they didn't want anybody to go pee. Well, dude, like I'm like so nervous about not being able to go pee on time that I'm just like chugging water.
Oh no.
And like then they put you on a bus, and I'm like sitting there like I'm doing like the pee shuffle and everything. And my legs are moving and like fucking like doing a dance and all the shit like that. And but like you gotta like have your bearing. You can't do that. They make you like sit there and stand at attention and march and all that shit. So they load us on the bus. I gotta fucking pee so bad. And then we finally get there. And when we get there, there was like 400 people in line. Not even no joke. Like it was easily an hour and a half where you had to wait in line. And at that point, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking piss my pants. And I'm literally fucking hopping back and forth.
Yeah.
And I had my hand down my pants. The only way I could stop myself from pissing my pants was I had to wrap my dick around my finger and just hold it.
Oh my God, you knotted it off.
I literally,
you can your dick.
You
like
can
a
physically
hose.
kink your dick like a hose to stop yourself from peeing.
What would happen?
And it
if you
hurts
pissed-
so bad.
No shit, it is. You're not supposed to fucking hold it.
And the drill instructors they're like, you got to go, don't you? And like, there was no bearing at all. I'm like, I'm going to fucking piss my pants.
Yeah.
And they let me go all the way to the front.
Good.
And they had there's a guy whose job it is, dude. It's called the meat gazer. You're the guy who has to stare. He's got to stare at the wieners to make sure they're actually peeing in there.
I've known many people.
Dude, you are
who
the
have
meat
had that
gazer.
job.
By the way, meat gazer, please let us use that word against them. Anyway, so as soon as I got to the front of the line, I had kinked my wiener for so long it wouldn't come out, and I started really worrying. Can you imagine, like, you kink your wiener for so long, all of a sudden, like, it gets so screwed up you can't even pee? And I remember thinking, like, oh my God, like I just broke my dick.
Yeah.
I broke my dick and I can't pee out of it. I eventually did.
My favorite part right now, your story, but I'm also thinking of anyone who's listening to this who had like that hour of downtime in the middle, and now it's like I almost broke my dick. Like, good for you for lasting it out for this long.
Yeah.
Oh fuck,
dude. So I mean, I got like so many stories and everything, and when I'm at work, like people will be talking about things, and you don't like. I don't want to be the guy who's gonna like outshine anybody on like stories and shit.
rules.
Like somebody just had a 20-year anniversary, work anniversary.
Okay.
And somehow they were talking about like crazy things they did in college. And like one guy's like, I glued the furniture to the ceiling, and another guy's like, we locked people out of the room sometimes. And then somebody asked me, well, how were you in college? I was like, my college years weren't as crazy. I did a lot of my crazier shit when I was in the military. And like, that's like one of those. And then I didn't really say anything. But like, well, go on. Dude, every time I like tell stories, people are just mortified. Like I literally, I ruin any momentum that's going on in the room because people are mortified by everything I'm saying. But it's just at my current place. At the place I worked at before, they thought it was funny. But now these people are mortified. They're terrified of my stories. They think I am a freak. And it's weird, and like it literally just ruins anything. Like you could hear crickets.
and you're not even telling them like
and I'm
the
like
real stuff. Like
I'm not telling them any of the really funny stories,
Yeah.
and I'm not swearing, or their feelings will get hurt or something. It's awful.
I know what you mean, where people are like, yeah, I remember like in college, I was getting so drunk and I had sex with this girl. They're like, no way. And I just really, really shut the fuck up
Yeah.
because I'm not proud of everything I've done. But it's like, I also don't want to ostracize everybody else.
But it is weird to hear people like, I don't know. They were talking about like riots.
They were in them?
Well, no, because people the topic of protesting came up, and
Okay.
then like people were like, essentially talking about how it was going to turn into riots eventually.
It will, rightfully so, I
You know,
believe.
and they're terrified, and they were talking about stuff like that. Well, I had like fire bombs thrown at me in Korea, like actual Molotov cocktails and everything. But and they were talking about like how like they saw like
Someone might steal something from that TV store.
yeah, like somebody, one of those people might have thrown a chair.
Now, granted, I know nothing of what you went through.
I don't know. I really ought to just shut up. Just shut up.
I mean, okay, so there's like a fucking world of things that I'll never know, right? There's journeys, there's adventures, there's fucking passions, there's whatever. Shit that I will never fucking know. But when you're talking to someone like that who says like, that's the most craziest thing that's ever happened, and it's on the same line as something that you've done, something you've lived through, something you fucking had to do, and yours is just like so much more than their fucking brain can handle. I think it's wrong to try and one up them, because there are those people who are like, well, you think you had it rough.
Yeah, my dad was that way.
I think a lot of our
Super,
parents.
very dismissive. He was very dismissive of my mom. Like everything my mom would say, like wasn't a valid answer because he was in Vietnam. And,
Yeah.
like being like super dismissive. I hate that.
Yeah.
But also like, I don't know. It also sucks that like I have stories I could talk about it, but nobody wants to. Like specifically at the job I'm at now, like it is way wiser for me to just not say anything.
So do you think that's like a good thing?
And I've noticed like the older I get, the more that happens.
Really?
Yeah, when I was younger, people would hear the stories and they thought it was cool.
That's interesting.
And now like nobody wants to hear it.
Do you think it's because they're getting older, or just you're around a different sect of people?
I don't know. I feel like I could have told these stories 20 years ago and they'd be better received.
Okay.
And maybe it's just like, maybe just the world is trying to heal. They don't want to like think about those things anymore.
Well, okay. I see that. And especially if you are around people who are implementing the evil that is happening in the world right now, they are the ones voting for them and saying, yes, take over everyone's livelihood because I don't give a shit. I think some of them might still have guilty consciences. So I think anything that remotely revolves around something that is outside their fucking realm of thinking is wrong to them. Like, you ever talk to like a turbo religious person who has no fucking concept that other people exist outside of their religion?
Yeah.
Those are the people I'm talking about, who just are so knee deep in their own shit that they think anything outside of their little fucking hole in the earth is wrong. And by conversing with them, telling them a story that you seem to be like, yeah, this is a story along those lines. You know, like you went through a riot. Let me tell you what it's like to have a fucking Molotov cocktail thrown at you. They'll be like, well, that didn't happen to me, so how can I even rationalize that as like a human experience?
Well, it's just like, the thing is like when it happened, it was like, when all those things happen, like all these really awful things, for the most part, it was just like the funnest and coolest thing ever at the time. And I look back
At the time?
at the time,
Oh.
you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. And you're laughing your ass off because you're like, as long as I'm not 100% dead, like
Okay.
I will 100% tell you there are those that will be shook by death, and there is those who laugh. I will tell you, I will be the one laughing as I'm dying, like
Okay.
just because I know for a fact. And I don't know if everybody's that way, but I was that way, and there was like other people there like that.
Yeah. Do you think that's like the police firefighter mentality that if you dwell on the negative too long, it can really rip you apart. And in reverse, you tend to make light of it. You make a joke out of it. And it
gallows humor is yeah, absolutely.
What's it called?
Gallows humor.
Gallows humor. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know. It's just me not being able to talk about this stuff has gotten worse as I've gotten older, and maybe that's like what the Vietnam guys were talking about. Like after a while, it's just not acceptable to talk about it anymore.
Can I make an offer that might sound disingenuous, but please don't take it as such?
No. Go ahead.
If you ever want to talk about...
No, it's not that it's like these aren't things that are bothering me. It's it's like when we were talking about stuff with memories, where it's like I don't think about these things unless somebody will say something and it's like, I went through that.
Yeah.
That thing happened, you know? And then I feel like that when I talk to people about it now, and I've told these stories often, like enough times, they've never been less well received than where I am now.
Again, that brings me back to the whole mentality. Like, is it the time period or is it the people you're actually around?
And I don't know. I don't know if it's because I have the gray hair and like people are fucking mortified by it now. Like they don't want to hear it.
You know what? Now that you said the gray hair, I wonder if that implicates the idea, like how we viewed Vietnam vets. We're like, okay, Grandpa, okay, Dad.
And that's what I think. Like where they're maybe, like they'll say stuff of like, I brought the room down by saying something. But to me, it's like
it's not a downer.
It's not a downer.
It's just a fun story.
It's just a fun story.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Do you ever try like introducing it like that? Because I've noticed when I communicate, I have to fucking do an opening paragraph to explain what the fuck I'm talking about to justify why I'm talking about it.
I don't know. You know what? The more I'm thinking about it, I wonder if it's the people. I think some people just want to shut it down immediately because they don't feel comfortable. It's usually it's the real young. Some of the younger ones, I think feel really uncomfortable about it.
Fuck them.
I don't know.
I don't know. Do you think we have time?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I don't want to be the guy just sitting there fucking telling war stories either.
Well, but I don't see that in you. I don't see you being the person. I don't see you being
I just think
your
it's
dad.
a fun story to share.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like they're thinking there's John who's just trying to, I don't know what I'm not trying to one up. I just think it's something that's interesting.
But
at the time.
that's not you. You don't.
Other people would disagree.
You think so?
Yes. I think there's
maybe because I know you well.
I mean, there's a lot of people that think that I try and one up them.
Okay. So
maybe it's better to just shut up.
I was going to say
it's just better to shut up.
I'll
save my stories for other people.
John yells at Cloud.
I would love to write them down somewhere. I would love to, or do like I've always said like doing like an audio thing. I think would be really, really cool.
Well, you turn off the fucking air conditioner and you got a nice, good audio place here. I have a sound shield if you want it to sound really fucking good.
I'm supposed to do the audio for your book.
Yeah, I keep thinking about that as I'm writing it. It's kind of weird to like have that mental image in my head.
Can I read some of it?
You can.
Do you have it now?
Sure. You want to end the fucking podcast on the first chapter?
Yeah.
Because it's not happy.
It's not happy?
It's not happy.
Oh, man. I feel like me telling stories at work then. Arc 1. Chapter 1.1. I see you're doing the same stuff as like
I am.
Tybo or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Longbow.
Yeah, Worm.
Worm, yeah. Chapter 1.1. The wake had been quiet. Too quiet. A hollow echo of what it should have been. It was just me and the empty chairs, rows and rows of silence where people should have been. A room filled with nothing but emptiness and gnawed at the edges of my mind. There were no whispers of sympathy, no soft touches of reassurance on my shoulder. I sat alone, staring at the worn-out picture of my sister on the table, the small frame barely able to hold the weight of her absence. She was only 17. The room smelled of old wood and stale air, like they hadn't cleaned it since the last few dozens of these. Dust had settled on the chairs that no one bothered to wipe clean. It felt like a forgotten place, much like the way she had been forgotten by the world. My eyes landed on a small dragonfly, absentmindedly living their own life, meandering over the linoleum floor, complete with chunks missing at some corners of the peel and stick do-it-yourselfer that tried to make it look nice and failed. The poor thing's wings had been removed or lost. Either way, the little guy was floorbound, unable to fly like his species prided themselves on. That's a good line. The dragonfly, now that it's closer, has a small blue star shape on its head, crawled over the bent of the linoleum next to my feet and finally over the top and back down. I can't remember ever looking this close at a dragonfly before, but they normally have designs on them. Why was I focusing on this? Like on a mission, the bug crawled behind my shoe in a straight line. My eyes lazily traveled the speed I thought it would take for it to reappear on the other side, but it never came. I waited. Still no bug. I waited for what felt like a full minute, sitting in the world's worst advertisement for bereavement and family unity. My eyes flitting up, still not seeing anyone. They fell back on my shoes, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I lifted up my shoe to see if the dragonfly was okay. Okay, I thought. Why was I giving a shit about a bug on the floor of what reminded me of a place at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark where not a living soul dared to hang around in? Why did I give a shit when literally the only person I have ever felt a connection to in my life after our parents left us out of the blue 10 years ago is about 20 feet from me, laying in the most modest and affordable pine box, working shitty part-time jobs for shittier pay could buy? My beautiful sister, who never had a chance to show the world how magical she was, the magic only I got to know, and maybe the neighbors of our walls as thin as paper apartment, with her mind melting beautiful music. We've had rough times. I mean rough in a way they only write about in Dostoevsky novels in their original Russian, so as not to completely depress the rest of the world from knowing the true language of sorrow within. But those rough days never mattered at all. They would just wash away whenever she would play the piano, her fingers dancing on the keys like they were the most trained and precise ballet performers gliding over an ivory stage. Music that made my heart pang, sing, scream, dream, and feel at all at the same time. Probably now that I think about it, when she would play her music, it was the only time in my life that I ever truly felt like things were okay. Like there was balance in our lives. But whatever, forget that shit. There's a dragonfly under my shoe, and I want to see if it's okay. She was fine. She was just sitting there, up against my shoe, like I was just taking a break on her long journey, and laid against me for comfort before traveling on again, along on our way to visit another shadow along a folding chair in front of me. I've been sitting here, 30 minutes, an hour, 2? Nah. No way in hell it could be 2 hours. That man with the suit 4 sizes too small for him and the mustache that looked glued on from a magazine would have told me my time was up and he would have to run my credit card again for another hour. To think I actually put my money in the bank to cover the brand new credit card costs for this instead of paying for this in cash. Of course he didn't want me to pay in cash. How could he run my card again? For extra expenses if I had paid in cash? Alice would have scolded me just now for that. I know she would have. First off, my comments about his mustache and his suit. I know she would whisper, scolded me with something like, "We don't all get to choose what we look like," or "No, no, everyone can afford a new suit if they gain a little weight." And I know for a fact she would have ended with, "No one knows what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes. You have no clue what's going on in his life, in his head, or in his heart." And sure enough, I would have backed down, apologized, and even though I wouldn't have said anything to his face anyway, and felt like I was just better having her in my life to be the better person. But now, I have to be the better person by myself. That thought makes me not want to go home to our empty apartment with the 3 consecutive months of overdue bills stapled to the floor. The tube fluorescent lighting above me flickers. Shit. Rain started. I look up at her casket. Well, her ashes in a pine box, I guess. It's literally cheaper to have someone cremated to just bury their body as is. And apparently, it's against the law to bury them without a box or even spread ashes. Welcome to America, where it's illegal to fucking die without enough money to do so. TV and movies lied to me, albeit that's nothing new. There was no flowers, no murmured condolences, no well-meaning hands reaching out to console, no favorite stories shared, no weird condolences where people don't know what to say, so they just say, "Sorry." The hollow space felt more like a forgotten storage room than a place to mourn the dead. But no one came. Not a single soul. I kept waiting for someone, anyone to walk through the door. A friend, a neighbor, her nurse from the last year who had come to visit when we had a little extra money, and even the couple of nights where it got really bad and she didn't even ask for payment. Or even just a stranger looking for the wrong wake, or to get out of the rain for a brief second. No one came, not even the priest. No one to say the words I couldn't bring myself to say. No one to tell me it wasn't my fault, even though I knew that damn well it was. The priest, who had promised he'd come, hadn't. No message, no apology. He simply didn't show up, and part of me wondered if he had ever intended to. Maybe he forgot, or maybe he just didn't care. It didn't matter. Nothing mattered. I couldn't even bring myself to be angry anymore. And there it was again. Another scolding I would have gotten. I could hear her voice as if I was underwater and she was talking to me gently from the shore. We don't know what's going on in his life. He could have had an emergency. Maybe one of his kids had to go to the emergency room. Would you still go to something if I had to rush to the ER again? I shook my head clear. She was right. She's not even here and she's right. She was my balance, keeping me in check, on track, and playing the devil's advocate, often in the most wholesome and heart-filling way. I sighed again as I hear the rain pattering against the ceiling, watching the water-stained bottom of the bargain bin yellowing ceiling tiles start to ready pool filthy water. There was no eulogy, no soft-spoken words of comfort, just silence. Silence, the rain, and the invisible kid sister still telling me to be a better person. The kind of silence that screamed in your ears, that dug its claws into your thoughts and dragged you down. I waited, staring at the door, hoping for anyone, someone, to walk in. But all I got was emptiness. I was the only one who came, her only living relative, and I failed her. I catch the mustached man as he leans in, his eyes on his watch, and then to me. I get it. I stand up and start to round the folding chairs in front of the pew as I was sitting in, and head towards a folding table with a plastic tablecloth on it. My sister laying in the cheapest box they could legally sell me on top. Her photo staring at me, one of the only good photos of her we still had from before the sickness took over. I look at the box, a particle board made from the pieces that even cheap, shiesty construction people don't use at the Home Depot. The sound of a fingernail tapping a cheap glass watch surface clicks the air. It's raining out there. I look up to see the man tapping on his watch. You know, for an extra 200, I could swap out the urn for a plastic model. The meatball in a black napkin and gray used to be some other color tie, coughs out through a cigarette in his mouth. I pick up the box in my arm and turn to walk out without saying a word. She would have smacked me in the other life if I had. As I'm walking towards the door, it comes out of nowhere, the wingless dragonfly. I only notice it at the last second. It's on a one-way straight path, exactly where my shoe is about to come down and end its life. Smushed against the Kmart shoes I've had for 4 years, and the linoleum that hasn't been mopped in probably longer. That's a terrible way to die, especially when you don't even see it coming. Minding your own business, being beautiful, and on a wonderful adventure. I feel my sister pull at the back of my heart. If there's enough time to make a decision, there's enough time to succeed or fail. I jerk my foot to the side just in time. Just half an inch behind the dragonfly as he was about to make a beeline for where he was about to meet his doom. Completely unaware of the giant monster in a black tie and no suit jacket that was benevolent enough to spare his little life. And then I see my heir before it even happens. The rain, the ceiling, the cheap tiles, the leaking on the floor of said rain mixed with dirt from the ceiling. This amazing combination is created for this instant, for this exact moment, and in the exact spot I now found my shoe putting my full weight onto is what I would never in my right mind call fuck my life and this slip and slide lube on the floor bullshit. When someone goes to the gym, let's say someone who hasn't been to the gym in over a decade, when someone goes to the gym who hasn't been doing any type of physical activity other than just manual labor, you don't tell that person to immediately jump up and slam down to the ground, doing their best impression of Jean-Claude Van Damme. But I think maybe somewhere out there, someone is sadistic enough to do just that. Tell that person, the unprepared person, to do the impossible. You know what they call that person? We call them an asshole. The asshole thinks you can go beyond 100%. And they want to thank God for their help in tonight's game because they couldn't do it alone after all, and focus should be on their teammates. That asshole, expecting too much and causing pain to others, is an asshole. And as I feel my face pressed, smashed hard against the filthy linoleum, watching the dragonfly walk away from my face on his merry way to God knows what destiny, it dawned on me that I am the asshole. I am the asshole who expected too much and slammed my unexercised balls into the splits on the ground. And while it hurts, I mean it really hurts, it isn't the pain I'm focusing on at the moment. The pain is flooding over me, making the surprise splits. I think I might have torn something important in there, reminding myself to check for bleeding later. Seems like just a small annoyance. Is a small heap of splinters and ash piled, pushing up against the congealing under the now muddy rainwater against my chest and mouth. I failed her in life. I failed her in death. You know, for an extra $300, coughs the mortuary man from behind me, and I just sigh a soft sigh out, hoping not to blow too much ashes away or into my mouth.
There's typos.
It's all good in the hood, homie.
I'll cut before I talk. Thanks. That was fun.
That was fun.
It gets happier.
He's not telling stories at my work.
So if it's hot, it's blazing, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And if them guns is raising, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And if the doge is blazed, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And if this song is played, then it must be must be my city, my city, my city.
From city to city and block to block, Mental City in this motherfucker making it hot. Brewed to the finest flavor of Midwest hip hop. Guaranteed to make the party jump when our cuts drop. 100,000 strong, baby, our city is still growing. Got the ganja to smoke, towels for MCs to throw in. We from the land where average people just don't give a fuck, and Mexicans drive around in Harley Davidson trucks. This is my city and I'm gonna represent till I die. Stopping hotter liquors, buy a case and blunts to get high. If you driving 90 West and exit 31 South, take a right on Ball Street to catch a 212 bout. It's interesting how many ethnic groups our city beholds. So many women in this town, fellas losing control. Pull out the Benzos, BMWs and Cadillacs. This is Elgin, I never forget where home is at.
So if it's hot, it's blazing, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And if the guns is raising, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And if the doge is blazed, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And when this song is played, then it must be my city, my city, my city.
You can call it Mental City or call it the E. But for me, I call it home, cause it's where I roam. Where MCs pack up in basements and take it to the dome. And we don't need no record deals, we gon' make it on our own, believe that. Elgin Cats is up in here, cause home is where the heart is, no but love in here. So player, chug your beer, I got a new one for you. Get drunk and get kicked out of Grand Victoria. No problem though, we dipping out to Cadillac. Even though it's the same bull and the DJ's always whack. But still though, you might find me there on Thursday nights, leaving around 1 to 2, feeling just right. And I can tell you how I feel about my city in many ways. Look, where else can you find thugs wildin' away? In the same club with rednecks like it's Sammy K's, when they featuring the ethnics and we jamming away.
So if it's hot, it's blazing, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And if the guns is raising, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And if the doge is blazed, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And when this song is played, then it must be my city, my city, my city.
Let me tell you about a place where heat is pumped out daily. MCs run through tracks like Donovan Bailey. Producers come a dime a dozen, and everybody's related, even if they wasn't. The Hispanic population, more than half, but on paper, they know how to reduce the math. It's all about the numbers and protection like immunity. If needed, they posse up like the loud community. See, I came out here in 91, straight from Evanston. I was crushing them like Big Pun. Today I'm a vet in this place they call Mental City. They love my flows, they know I get busy. No longer do they ask who is he, they just know that G-Slash you know, he make classic codes. You hit a beat, heat is what we provide you. That drunken style, vibe all up inside you.
Crunk, it ain't a thing, cause my city's off the chain. And this place will never change, son, we bout it, yeah. From the west side to the east, Dundee Mark to Hindi Street, 31 to Liberty, don't you doubt it, no, no. Now keep something in the air for me, make money and stay scummy. From the high rise to the creek to the mills, they got love for me. Ann Street to Mulberry, the cherry roast ups for me. Chickens is clucking, divas and dimes got hugs for me. I represent for every part of the E, for every block in the E, from Randall to Ann to Poplar Creek. I go back like icy cups when the Elks Club was free, when disco used to hustle dubs that look like quarters to me. Can't help but love that, I gotta show love back. Where all my real thugs at, my wolves and club rats. It's on so we blow up, cause you gotta get that love from home. I'll be singing that Michael Jackson song, So Alone. For all my wreck niggas to the monster clique, drunken style, the hard hitting, keep on bombing shit. X-Men, the raw wood, it's gonna be all good. Keep doing that thing you do till we make it out the hood. If it's hot, it's blazing, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And if the guns is raising, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And if the doge is blazed, then it must be my city, my city, my city. And when this song is played, then it must be my city, my city, my city.